take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685842. Equal housing lender.
How much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC, because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals, reliable for over 4 decades. Visit DelcorInc.com today.
In studio with Gloria from Kinetic Physical Therapy. What kind of wellness services do you guys offer?
We have massage therapy with your choice of either a relaxation massage, a therapeutic stretching session, or prenatal massage. We have foot reflexology. We partner with Pirate Cryo for cryotherapy, also known as cold therapy, and we have health and wellness coaching. And if you're interested in holistic body therapy and saving money, we encourage you to check out our wellness membership plan, where you can have all of our wellness services at a constant discounted price. You can learn more today at kptonline.com.
Looking for your next career opportunity or even just some extra cash to help pay for school? Your locally owned Dixon Foods McDonald's is hiring across Eastern North Carolina. They offer flexible hours, competitive pay, and even financial support to pursue your education through McDonald's Archways to Opportunity program. With plans to provide more than 100 new jobs currently, we hope you'll visit DixonFoods.com to learn more. Dixon Foods, proud to be your locally owned and locally operated franchisee for McDonald's.
Every team knows that the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I'm here. State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer and my team are here to help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score some savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, Timothy Sawyer, at 493-0002 today.
It's bow time.
Years from now, you'll tell your grandkids. Back in my day, we could get 2 Bojangles sausage biscuits for just $2.50. And those biscuits, shoot, they were always made from scratch. And that zesty sausage, sizzling like the summer of 2033. Then your grandkids will say, wow, 2020 sounds amazing. And you'll say, not really, but those biscuits were. Get 2 sausage biscuits for just $2.50.
It's bow time.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
You can paint this one purple.
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the pirate nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
Hello everyone, welcome in to Pirate Radio Live. Clip Brock here inside the Pirate Radio studios and coming to you on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington. We are live online at pr927fm.com. You can find us streaming on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. You can watch us there. Got some in-studio guests coming up later on in today's program, including Stephen Igoe from Hoist the Colors, Ronnie Woodward from the Daily Reflector. They'll join me in the 4 o'clock hour on into the 5 o'clock hour of today's show. Coming up at 4 o'clock, we will talk all things American football, some ECU football as well with Austin Cox. He'll join us from AAC Daily. look back at week 1 of the college football season involving the AAC. Got some schedule changes to talk about with Shirley Rhodes in our news of the day regarding AAC teams. We'll get to that. Also, the big man on campus, Jeff Nadu, fired up for some college football week 2 and NFL week 1. We'll talk about his favorite picks of the week, and we'll kick off the show with WIT and sports director Billy Weaver, who joins us on the Fixed NC Live line today. Weave, how you doing, man?
Doing good, Clip. How about you?
I'm doing good, Billy. How'd you enjoy the football over the weekend? I mean, there was some blowouts. There weren't many good games. There was some games with no fans that was kind of awkward. So, did it feel like a college football weekend to you, or was it a little weird?
No, it was a little weird. It was a little weird, and you mentioned the blowouts. It doesn't get any worse than last night. Watching the BYU Navy game, I felt bad for Navy in the American Athletic Conference. They get whitewashed 55-3. Should have even been more of a score, but BYU takes a knee at the end of the game going in and could have made it even worse. And no fans in the stands there in Annapolis, Maryland. And, that's a really cool place to watch a game. And when all the pageantry of college football at its best at the service academies. So I kind of missed that last night, seeing that in the stands. And, so it's been weird. It's been weird, but football is back. So that's the good part of it. At least we have football.
As I'm watching, Billy, and to your point about last night, BYU creating so much of their own energy on the sidelines. You've got, obviously, X's and O's you can dissect as a coach, but it almost feels like there's a little advantage to not be one of the guinea pigs playing week 1 or week 0 or week 1, and maybe an advantage for ECU to have a few more weeks. Now, they're going to play a really tough opponent to open up the season on the 26th with UCF, but I feel like Mike Houston can watch film from these other games and show his guys some things with what went down over the weekend.
Well, I think you hit it on the head with bringing your own energy. That's what these teams have to do. It doesn't matter if you're on the road. It doesn't matter if you're at home. With no fans in the stands, there is no energy. You can pump crowd noise in, and you can, the announcers can do what they can do. A Morgan Ehlers will, still be able to do what he does at Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium, announcing the plays and the players and things like that. But when there's no energy, per se, in the stands that you're used to when it comes to college football, college football is the best at the pageantry. That's what attracts so many people to college football, is the pageantry of it, the tailgating, the rah-rah atmosphere. You don't get that in the NFL. You do to an extent, but not like you do on college campuses. It's just it's a totally different deal. So I think, to your point, that BYU brought their own energy. That's what the successful teams this year are going to have to do. We've seen it with ECU, where they've gone on the road into an atmosphere where there just really isn't much of an effort, and they come out with a loss because they couldn't get any energy behind them. They couldn't bring their own energy, so to speak. And I think the team that does that in any matchup I think that's why we're going to see some crazy games this year, because it just depends on how these teams react to the situation.
Talking to Billy Weaver on the Fixed NC Live line. East Carolina back at it at practice today. There is a Zoom scheduled for 6:15, I believe, Billy, as Mike Houston will meet with members of the media. That's kind of how we're getting our information right now, via Zoom. We were talking about the Bud Light pregame tailgate at our Monday meeting, and we always get Billy's keys to the game during that 4 hours, and we always have a lot of player audio, coach audio to play from the week on that pregame show. We're not going to have that this year, Billy. We have, and we'll get to this with the NFL and our Washington football team in a moment, but we're really far removed from what's happening at these practices and with these football teams right now.
Yeah, and that's the tough part of it, because you don't really get a clear look of what's going on. I got an email today from the folks at the Carolina Panthers and kind of their policy with sending out video and things like that for Carolina Panthers games in the NFL. The NFL some years ago went away from having as many cameras on the sidelines. They kind of cleaned up that a little bit. College football did that to some extent. But we were always able to go into the locker room or go into a press room after the game and get our own interviews with players and kind of sit down with them and get the the gory details, so to speak. It's going to be a little bit different this year, and it has been different. Like you said, the availability is not. You don't have as much availability without being able to go out to practice and pick up on little things. We don't know who's at practice on a daily basis. There could be an injury that we don't know about, and it takes forever. I mean, it may be game day before we know about it because we're not out there. So those are the little things that are kind of falling by the wayside when it comes to this whole coronavirus, this COVID-19 deal. So, I thought it was very interesting. I listened yesterday to the press conference from Mac Brown over at UNC, and he said they're going to be, they're in game week right now. They play this coming Saturday. They play at noon against Syracuse, and he brought up a very good point. He said yesterday during his weekly press conference, he said, we'll be tested 3 times this week. He said, we were tested this morning. We'll be tested again on Wednesday, and then tested again, I think he said, on Friday. And what's going to happen with that Friday test, they won't get the test results from that Friday test back until Saturday at 9 a.m. They play at noon. So there's a very good possibility that if a staff member or a player tests positive from that Friday test, they won't know until a few hours before game time. And what happens if they have an outbreak, or what happens if their starting quarterback or their starting running back or somebody very critical to their game plan tests positive, and that they don't know until 9 a.m. on game day? That's what not a lot, but all these college football teams are going to have to face, is that the possibility of this, hey, surprise, you're going to be without your starting quarterback or your starting linebacker or, your starting left guard because they tested positive just before the game. So that's some of the other stuff that's just going to be very weird about this college football season.
No doubt, and we'll get back to that in a moment. You mentioned the Panthers there, though, as far as media goes and everything. What are they doing as far as allowing members of the media this year? ECU is going to cut back on who can go inside the press box and everything. How about the Panthers? Are you allowed to watch a game from the press box if there's no fans in the stands?
No, it's going to be mostly, they're going to limit their media because with the NFL is a little bit different than college football. There's obviously a lot more media attention around those games. So it's going to be the Charlotte area television stations and media that are going to get, the opportunity to be there and stuff like that. With us being, 3.5, almost 4 hours away in the eastern part of the state, we're going to have to rely on Zoom interviews, and that's, what kind of part of what that email said today is how they're going to distribute other video down to us. So that, that's going to be the case. And even right here in our own backyard, I mean, it's not over at ECU. You're not going to see anybody on the field. You're not going to see Steve the Pirate coming out. I mean, they're limiting everybody on the field. You won't see that low angle video that we're so used to shooting at ECU because they're not going to allow us on the field. It'll probably be a pool video type of thing. And, we're in a situation right now with covering sporting events. It's basically going to be, if you get a spot in a press box, you get to sit in the press box, socially distanced away from other members of the media with a mask on. You'll be able to watch the game and then do Zoom interviews on your laptop computer right there in the press box afterwards. And then you go home. That's going to be a very weird thing to where it almost doesn't even really feel like work. You just go there and sit and watch the game, and then we talk about it on the radio and TV.
Yeah.
It's just a very weird situation right now. But hopefully, all that's going to change. Hopefully that won't be the situation for the entire season.
Right. For that game in September against UCF, yes, for the remainder of the season, we shall see. Hopefully things will ease up a little bit as far as that goes, and fans can be inside of Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. You've got a handful of games in the state of North Carolina this weekend. Billy mentioned North Carolina. They're big favorites against Syracuse coming up at noon on Saturday. Appalachian State, a 17-point favorite against Charlotte. And how about game day is coming to Winston-Salem to see the Clemson Tigers, but Wake Forest will be there as well. Clemson, a 32.5-point favorite against Wake Forest. And for the folks who listen that go to Clip Sports Trivia Wednesdays at AJ's, I'll be asking a question about the Power 5 schools that have never hosted a college game day. I think there's 8 that still haven't. Wake Forest was on that list, Billy, but they'll get Corso and Herb Street and the guys coming to town on Saturday.
Wow, that's going to be that's going to be the one of the questions for your.
The rest of the Power 5 teams that have not hosted a college game day. So
I don't know if I could name that. I'd have to look. Maybe I have to look that up.
It's going to take a little thinking, but yeah,
it would. Probably take a little time, and I'd probably have some guesses, but I'd have to sit here and think about it for a while.
And Billy, on the atmosphere during a game, that's huge. The atmosphere during college game day is part of that charm too, right? And if they can't have fans at the stands, I'm assuming they're going to just have an empty set. The 4 guys are going to be up there, and that's it as far as game day.
I guess that is, that's a very good point, because that's part of what makes college game day so fun. And, students, when they hear about college game day coming to their campus, students, they have signs, they get the cheerleaders out there. You always see them behind, Corso and Herb Street and those guys, and they're constantly yelling. It's that's a big deal. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes off. And I'm sure they're going to do it exactly the same way they've done it in the past. They'll just not be, people behind them, and they'll still do their in-depth features and things like that. But that's going to be very interesting. And I know this is not part of your, your answer, because East Carolina is not a Power 5 school, but that's something I would love to see one day, is college game day. And of course, you got to hate it for Wake Forest, because they finally get college game day to come to their campus, and it's just not the same.
Yeah.
So hopefully when that day comes for East Carolina, we're kind of back to normal in that situation.
I was talking about this with some buddies over the weekend, Billy. Is this the year Cornell Powell puts together more highlights, like that highlight reel he had at J.H. Rose? Is this the year he gets some reps and some plays for the Tigers?
Well, I hope so, and from what I've been seeing on Clemson social media, he is actually playing much better, and he's being talked about much more at Clemson. So, it'd be nice to see the Rose product on the national spotlight getting something. And speaking of which, I was just over at Rose High School this afternoon doing a sports spotlight on another one of the many Rose High School football players that have done great things over there. Michael Allen is their newest guy. He's a rising junior running back, and he's got his very first offer came from East Carolina. He's got 13 Division I offers right now, including South Carolina, Tennessee, UNC, among the schools that are looking. He's also a great baseball player. So, I was over there talking to him, doing a sports spotlight earlier today, and it also came out today while I was over there that the North Carolina State High School Athletic Association has adjusted their guidelines to where there are 25 people allowed to gather indoors, which means in a weight room facility, and now 50 outside. So Will Bland, the head coach over there, was very excited seeing that break on social media earlier today while we were over there talking, that now he can get 50 of his players out on the football field at one time. So I think starting tomorrow, he said he's going to get his guys out there and throw the football around for a little practicing. So that's good news from the high school front.
Yeah, they can finally do some scrimmaging and they have a full practice. Billy, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. As they
and Michael, I asked Michael Allen about that, and he said to tell you the truth, he said we've been apart as a team so long. He goes, I hope I remember everybody's name. And but it's true. I mean, those guys have not been together as a team in forever.
And Allen he's a great baseball player too, right, Billy? And I don't know about basketball, but man, they're going to have a lot of prep work here for the remainder of 2020. And as soon as 2021 hits, if the schedule goes as planned, those 2-sport, and how about those 3-sport athletes? It's going to be nonstop for about 5 months and maybe even into 6 months.
Well, that is the case for Michael Allen. He's a 3-sport star. He is a baseball player, a football player, and he's also runs track and field. He holds the 100-meter record over at Rose High School. I asked him today what he runs in the 40s, and the last time he was clocked was a 4.34. So how about that for a 5'9", 185-pound running back that runs a 4.34? He's a rising junior, so he's got 2 years left to get bigger, faster, and stronger. So it's no wonder he's got 13 Division I offers right now. And I asked Coach Will Bland about him, and I said, calls from coaches. He said, since he's been there as head coach in January and fielding these calls, he's had like 30 different head coaches call him and talk to him on occasion about Michael Allen. So he's going to be the next big-time athlete out of Eastern North Carolina and right here in Greenville.
Talking to WITN Sports Director Billy Weaver. Looking forward to some football this week. Still got a few weeks ago for Pirates football, but it'll be here, folks. Keep waiting. I know it's tough to say be patient when you should already have one game under your belt getting ready for another one right now, but we are ready for it here at Pirate Radio, that's for sure. Billy, how about last week I said, okay, the NASCAR playoffs are starting. I'll give you Harvick and Hamlin, and I'll just take the field. And you didn't even let me finish my sentence. You said, okay, let's do it. Kevin Harvick rolls to another victory, although got a little help from what? Was it Truex the other night who got into it with Elliott?
Yeah, those two got into it leading the race, and they were going back and forth, and Truex was trying to take over the lead and actually did from Elliott, and Chase got him up into the wall, and they took each other out, and lo and behold, there's Kevin Harvick and just kind of sitting there in the catbird seat. But, Kevin Harvick has run very well at Darlington anyway. So, yeah, that was his third win at Darlington. He's got 57 career victories, and he knows how to get around that track. And there was enough laps left in that race to where he could have gotten up there and contended for the lead had that not happened anyway. So, he's the guy to look out for. And, Martin Truex Jr. going into this weekend, he's got to be the favorite to win at Richmond. He swept Richmond last year, so he's got to be one to look out. And, Kyle Busch, we talked about him again and again, still not having won a race, but Kyle Busch in 2018 swept at Richmond, so he knows how to get around that track. So it's going to be interesting to see the guys go to Richmond this weekend. But, like I said, Kevin Harvick has punched his ticket into the next round, and that's the goal right now for these guys, is make it to the next round and then try to get into that Final Four at the end of the season.
Looking forward to a fun sports weekend, including NASCAR, but also the NFL gets underway coming up Thursday night with the Chiefs and Texans. Billy, our next guest on the show, Jeff Nadu, the big man on campus, already has a play-in for Washington. He got him +7 against Philadelphia, so he likes. And it's such an unknown without preseason, especially with Washington, because Haskins, how's he going to improve from year one to year two? We don't know, what they've got at running back with Antonio Gibson, or is he a receiver? Who do we have other than Terry McLaurin? There are a million unknowns with Washington. What I do know is their front seven should be stout and really good, and I'm expecting them. I don't know if they're going to win a lot of games this season, Billy, but I expect them to be in just about every game, including this Sunday when they take on the Eagles.
Yeah, and can't wait to see Chase Young.
Absolutely.
See what he's done. I've heard a lot of good things about him. Obviously, what he did in college speaks for itself, but of course, the NFL is a whole different animal. But from all the reports from training camp are that he's a stud. Defensively, I think Washington's going to be okay. Offensively is going to be, a little bit of a question mark, obviously, and hopefully. Haskins is making that leap into getting comfortable with the offense and things. So that's going to be very interesting to see how they do. But I like to hear that they're a 7-point favorite going into this weekend.
Well, they're 7-point underdogs to the Eagles. But he takes Jeff Nadu likes them as that dog and thinks they could pull an upset. Also said it's going to be a low scoring game, which I could definitely see as well.
That doesn't surprise me. And I would imagine we're probably going to have a lot of low-scoring games in the NFL, because the thing is you don't have that feeling out process. Like you said, there's no preseason, so we don't really know what to expect. And I think, obviously first halves of games are going to be very low-scoring.
Yeah.
Typically the NFL is much more low-scoring than college football is anyway. So it's going to be interesting that first week. And actually. I'm looking very forward to Thursday night, starting the weekend on the Thursday night with the NFL.
No doubt, Chiefs and Texans should be a lot of fun. 17,000 fans in Arrowhead, so there'll be at least be some type of atmosphere there. We've always enjoyed it. Thanks for kicking us off on a Tuesday, man. Have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, we'll see you, man.
WITN Sports Director Billy Weaver kicking us off on a Tuesday. Got Shirley Rhodes, got Chan, man. Chan, how'd you shoot today? And I'm just assuming because of your wardrobe, you are fresh off the golf course.
Well, you know what assuming does, right?
It makes a butt out of me and you.
Yeah.
So did you shoot?
I did. And I'm not going to say what it was. It's around my average, but not a bad day on the course.
All right. I'll say this. You look like a golfer. When you walked in, you looked legit.
Well, Glenn, when I walked in, he was like, "Oh, did you go golfing today?" Kind of as a smart joke. I said, "In fact, yeah, I just got off the golf course."
Yeah.
So
you look the part. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
All right. We will take a time out. Come back when we return. We'll talk to the BMOC, Jeff Nadu. Get his thoughts on his SMU pick, which didn't go well. There's a lot of sloppy football, week 1 in college football. We'll talk about that. Also, look ahead to week 2 of college football and week 1 of the NFL. Got some NBA going tonight. We'll ask him about that too. So a lot coming up with the BMOC. Jeff Nadu, he joins us on the other side after this.
The Man Cave Salon for Men was built on the concept to serve only men. The Man Cave is the place for men to get together and take care of themselves. I'm Amanda from the Man Cave, and we offer professional manicures, pedicures, and a salon for all your hair care needs in a true masculine environment. Go to our website at mancaveandnails.com and book your appointment today. The Man Cave, now open on the corner of Evans and Fire Tower. Stop into the Man Cave and get your best life.
You know, texting while driving is dangerous. That's not new information. Yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people. Information provided by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Do you think you might have been exposed to COVID-19? Maybe you're planning to visit parents, family, or friends. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers easy solutions to COVID-19 testing. Arc Point Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. Arc Point Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers.
Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. Your office deserves a proactive tech support approach instead of always reacting to issues after the damage is done. You need BizCare. BizCare tech support and cybersecurity plans keep you ahead of potential issues and much safer from cyber threats like ransomware. What's at your office? Call William today to schedule your free BizCare consultation or learn more at universitypccare.com.
This is Sam Jones inviting you to join us for lunch, dinner, or takeout at Sam Jones Barbecue. At Sam Jones, you'll find our smokehouse pumping out fresh food cooked over wood every single day. That's our Eastern North Carolina whole hog barbecue, slow-cooked chicken, smoked turkey, and spare ribs. There are no freezers here. Everything, and we mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Come on over and see us at Sam Jones Barbecue, and I'll bet you'll be able to taste the difference in just one bite. Sam Jones Barbecue, Fire Tower Road.
It's summertime and it's no better time to drive away with the quality pre-owned car, truck from Greenville Auto World. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Are you planning that summer trip by car? We'll get you set for that trip with an oil change and 27-point inspection. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard, across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork.
Hey, this is Chef Dave Finelli. Have you got $60 extra a week or you just got $60 a week? I can feed you dinner 6 nights a week for total $60. Maybe you haven't heard about this, my Heart Healthy Home Meals. I give you 6 meals a week. You pick them up at Pop's. I guarantee you go out to eat one time, you spend more than $60. I guarantee you, if you go to the grocery store one time, you spend more than $60. And then you still got to tip, and then you still got to cook and prep and worry. Forget all that. I got you. $60 a week. Let me know. I'm right there at Pop's. You know how to reach me.
Hi, this is Phil Steele of Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to the show. Hey, Atlantic Wireless is your local authorized U.S. cellular agent and now offers curbside service and free home delivery. In addition to phone service, Atlantic Wireless has a great selection of tablets and now offers home internet service. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find a store near you. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
Alrighty, thank you, Shirley Rhodes. We'll get to the news of the day a little bit later on in this hour. I want to mention John Moody on Facebook Live. We were talking about College Game Day at Winston-Salem, Wake Forest and Clemson coming up this Saturday night. And, what's that going to look like when no fans are allowed to go to the Wake Forest game on Saturday? And John says from what he read, they will be broadcasting from the 50-yard line with no fans. They're asking fans to mail signs to the athletic department to be displayed during the show. Also looking to do a drive-in movie type of deal. So it's going to be different, just like everything is different. I guess them broadcasting from inside the stadium will look pretty cool. But
yeah,
we're definitely going to miss the fans.
Here...
What? Are you? Shirley's exasperated.
Well, what I'm trying to think of is a good portion of College Game Day, for me, at least the entertaining part of it, is the signs.
The signs,
so,
all the fans, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking to myself, why don't they, and of course, it's not going to be logistically something that they can do inside a stadium because of just the way things are set up. I was thinking just virtually, just have your virtual fans with the signs with them, but you're not going to be able to do that inside of a football stadium. So having them displayed somewhere, maybe. Do the cardboard cutouts. I mean, like, do the cardboard cutouts and have them with the signs.
Holding up the signs.
Holding up the signs. Why not? I mean, just combine the two, since a lot of these universities are charging for cardboard cutouts, so might as well do that for College Game Day, too.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get creative with everything. Again, I'm hoping... And I don't know, it could be wishful thinking at this point, but maybe some restrictions will be eased as we head into October, November, and you're able to get some fans, because there is a big difference. I've gotten used to the NBA bubble, the Stanley Cup playoff bubble. I've gotten used to baseball with the cardboard cutouts, with the crowd sound effects, but there's a big difference when you have fans inside a college football stadium and fans not there, like we saw last night in Annapolis. So
yeah, when I was watching what was that game that I was watching the other night? Shoot.
So Army had some fans,
it
cadets
was either
there.
Friday night or Saturday night. I can't remember what night it was, but it was either Friday or Saturday. They had some fans at the game, but you could tell.
Memphis maybe, or
yes, it was the Memphis game. That's what it was. And even the fans that were there, they were loud and involved in the game. And I thought, you know what? Even if you have to socially distance and you only have a certain percentage, it's still better than nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely don't want crickets in a stadium because that's just going to feel like a football practice more than a game.
Yeah, and again, last night all you heard was BYU celebrating from their sidelines and their head coach dancing on the sidelines. That was entertaining as well. All right, let's talk more football. Week 2 of the college football season and week 1 of the NFL season. The big man on campus, Jeff Nadu, joins us on the Fixed NC Live line now. Big man, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you, Clip?
I'm doing great. Happy football week to you as the NFL kicks off this week, Thursday night, with the Chiefs and the Texans. A full slate of games coming up on Sunday and Monday as well. We will talk NFL, we'll talk college football and more with the big man today. And Jeff, looking back, and we'll kind of highlight this coming up at 4 o'clock as C. Austin Cox will join us. He covers the American Athletic Conference, and not a great showing from the AAC in week 1 of the college football season. SMU Memphis picking up wins, not very convincingly. And then, boy, Navy laid an egg last night. I guess we'll start with SMU because you, myself, a lot of people thought the Mustangs would roll up a lot of points and take care of business against Texas State. But outside of what, Jeff, the BYU and Army was able to pile up some points, Marshall against an FCS team, a little bit of sloppy football, I guess, to start the 2020 season, and we saw that with the Mustangs.
Yeah, it was. It was tough to watch. I don't know about you, but I know it was great having college football back, and it's great coming up this week. And these teams are starting to get into it, but it was bad. It was ugly to watch at some points. SMU just couldn't get enough stops. It seemed like every time you looked, it was just back and forth. But you're right; it was an ugly week. I mean, you had a couple games where, at least even the last couple of games, like even last night. I mean, that was never a game. To go into a football season where you don't tackle at all makes very little sense to me, and that's not something you see from the Naval Academy very often. I mean, I can understand, any other team where maybe you just don't spend a lot of time on it, but for the Naval Academy to be unprepared like that was eye-opening because you kind of just assume that they're always going to be ready to go, and they weren't.
Big man, looking ahead, let's start with college football, and I want to know what you like, if anything, coming up this weekend. One thing stood out to me, and I admit, I don't know a lot about these teams. I know the hype surrounding North Carolina coming into the season. I know Syracuse is picked near the bottom of the ACC, but I don't know. Atmosphere with no fans, so there's no home field or anything. It is an early kickoff at Chapel Hill, 12:07 on Saturday, but 22.5 points. North Carolina favorite over Syracuse. That one just kind of jumped out to me. Is it going to be that much of a blowout Saturday at Chapel Hill, Jeff?
Yeah, that was definitely one that kind of surprised me as well, especially with it being a conference game. But, yeah, I think it's imperative, Clip, that if college football is going to go on and be somewhat normal, there's got to be crowd noise, like whether it's pumped in or whatever. To just have it where you hear nothing but the coaches and players, I think it's odd. It was odd. They need to do that. I don't understand why people don't like it. I think it sounds at least something. It's kind of eerie to not have it at all. I don't know why they're not going to have it, and I hope they do in certain games. But, yeah, as far as this is concerned, I was surprised myself. I mean, Tommy DeVito's back this year, which for Syracuse, that's big. But there were games last year, Clip, where this team just couldn't score. I don't know what it was. It seemed like for them last year, the Dino Baber era just didn't seem to work last year. Defensively, they looked poor. But, when you're a team like Syracuse, generally you're going to go really quick. But if you don't have the personnel to run it, plays and series can end quickly. That can mean bad for the other team. But, yeah, there's no way I'm leaving 3+ touchdowns with a team in the first game of the season. I'm not going to do that much at all, frankly, especially in a conference game. So, no, I would at 22.5, I would take that. Yeah,
I'm looking at that as well. ACC kicking off this weekend, Miami kicking off against UAB coming up on Thursday night, and the Big 12, some of their team getting underway this weekend as well. Jeff, when you look at week 2 of the college football card, has anything stood out to you yet?
Yeah, I made some plays already. One of them I did bet was the total in the Thursday night game between UAB and Miami. I thought this total was a little high. Give me 54.5. I'll go under the number. I think the first game will probably kind of make it look that UAB is a high-scoring team, and defensively they're not great. But that game just, I thought, kind of got away from them a little bit. They weren't great defensively, but I think, obviously, another game under their belt, I think they'll come back better here. They're usually a very fine defense. I don't love their quarterback play, and I think against a team like Miami, I think they'll have trouble moving the football. I also look at Miami, and I wonder, I know they have De'Aaron King, and I don't know if that's going to completely change their fortunes going forward, but I don't really love what they have at receiver. They're breaking in new players there. They bring back Brevin Jordan, the tight end, who's a good player. And outside of that, I don't love their running game. We know they have a good defense. I just felt like this was a little high. This is a 31-17 type of game, maybe 34-14. I have a hard time thinking this one gets into the 50s. Another one I'm kind of keeping my eye on is Kansas State, Arkansas State. For as good as Arkansas State I thought was last week, they weren't very good defensively. And I'm actually quite high on Kansas State coming in this year. I love Chris Kleiman. I think he's quite the coach. He did some great things in North Dakota State, and I thought last year winning 8 games was pretty impressive by them last season. They bring back pretty much their entire roster as far as on defense. Offensively, they bring back their quarterback. They have a pretty good run game. And if you look at Arkansas State, they really struggled against the run the other night. They gave up almost 235 yards on the ground. Arkansas State has to figure that out, and it doesn't get any easier. Plus, they're going with this 2-pronged quarterback here with Bonner and Hatcher. I don't know if that's going to work as well against a Power 5 opponent. I'm pretty high in Kansas State. I think to lay the 10.5 is probably the smart play here. For as good as Arkansas State played, they still lost by 13.
Talking to the BMOC, Jeff Nadu, a couple of early plays here in the week. We'll visit with the big man again on Thursday, talk more college football, NFL with him. But always like to know what you like early in the week, Jeff, and then see what those lines do. And as far as line movement goes, you got a good number with my team, Washington, against your team, ironically, the Philadelphia Eagles. I saw it at 6 yesterday. It's kind of back up now to 6.5 last I checked. But you got Washington +7 coming up on Sunday. A little bit more on that one, Jeff. As a Washington fan, a lot of unknowns on the offensive side for Washington. I think Terry McLaurin is going to have a great year. I don't know what else they have as far as pass catchers in that offense. I believe Dontrell Inman is their number 2 wide receiver going into this game. That's kind of scary if you're a Washington fan. As far as defense, they have really loaded up in the draft these last few years and should be good on the defensive side. And with no preseason, Jeff, a lot of question marks with Washington. With Philadelphia right now, what's the issue, Jeff? Injuries, right? And you don't know who's going to be ready to go week 1.
Yeah, you look at this game, I feel like it's 1st to 20 probably wins here. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring football game at all. You mentioned kind of the issues that the Redskins have. Also, what's their quarterback play like? I mean, they don't. I think we can both agree that Dwayne Haskins is a little bit to go here, and whoever's the quarterback, it's going to take some time. I think they definitely try to feature the run game a little bit. And with McLaurin, you've got to figure Darius Slay is going to have a lot of success against him. We're not dealing with the normal depth chart of the Eagles where they have nothing in the secondary. They all of a sudden have a lockdown corner. A guy that I'll tell you to keep an eye on, Clip, Antonio Gandy-Golden. I've heard good things out of camp, out of him.
Yeah.
I was very high on him coming into the draft. I thought he was a high-level player. He's a big kid that can go up and get the football. Don't be surprised. I'll tell you right now, I'm not a fantasy guy really, but if you're out on the waiver wire and he's available, I would pick him up. You mentioned it, Clip. They don't have a ton of options right now at receiver. He could be a guy that could really become that, second player for them. I like that kid a lot. Gibson I like as well, but they have a young team. You mentioned defensively how good they are. I just know that the Eagles right now, there's just a lot of concerns. You mentioned it, the injuries are concerning. You look at up front on the offensive line, Jason Peters is going to play left tackle. Jason Peters is old at this point. He was on the street until the Eagles picked him up. They're also dealing with the injury to Brandon Brooks as well. They're breaking in new players. It's another year for Miles Sanders. How will he take it? They're still without Alshon Jeffrey. And defensively, I think the Eagles are better. So at 42.5, you're kind of a key number there. At 42, you're getting the hook. it wouldn't surprise me if this game stays under as well. But I know how the Eagles play against the Redskins. I don't think there's going to be a blowout by any means. I want to make this clear, Clip. I didn't get 7. I actually bought a half a point to get 7.
You got
I
to
felt
7.
like it was
Okay.
a wise.
Yeah.
I felt like this was a wise move here to buy up to 7 and get 120. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I got you, 10-4. Jeff, I'll ask you about the Thursday nighter, and then we'll see if you got anything else, any action already going for Sunday and Monday. But Chiefs and Texans sitting at 9 right now. Chiefs a 9-point home favorite. Now, they will have 17,000, I believe, fans in the stands in Arrowhead coming up on Thursday night. Total at 54.5. Any interest in this Thursday nighter?
I do. I'm not going to lie, Clip. I got 10 with the Texans. I took it a while ago. I felt like this was a play I was going to like later, so why not bet it? I knew the 10 wouldn't last. And sharp money is coming in on the Texans. Look, anytime the Chiefs play, I think there's some overreaction. Look, I know the Chiefs are good. They're coming off a great season. They won the Super Bowl. But, look, I think the Texans are going to be pretty solid as well. I know they're without Hopkins now, but, I think Will Fuller can take on a bigger role there. I like the slot receivers they have with Cobb. I think Cooks can kind of become what maybe he was in New England and what we thought he could be. They have a great quarterback there in Deshaun Watson, and, they have a pretty good run game. Defensively is where I'm a little concerned, and, to be frank with you, at 54.5, I don't know if there's a whole lot of defense played here, but for me, this is a game that I just think it's too many points. I think the Chiefs kind of get a couple extra just because they're called the Chiefs. This is a division game. Obviously, if you're the Texans, you want to kind of have a little bit of redemption after the game last year in the playoffs where they were down and almost came back or they blew the big lead or whatever it was. I think they'll want to get a little retribution here. I don't think they'll win, but I'll take 10 points if I can get it. Even at 9, this is an 8.5 in some spots. So I'll definitely probably be grabbing the Texans, maybe even a little bit more, but I already have 10.
Big man looking around, and I wish there were fans allowed at Bank of America Stadium. I want to pull the trigger on Carolina and, the Raiders coming across the country, the Raiders getting a little hype. Carolina's supposed to be really down this year. I could see kind of Bridgewater patchworking some offense together and the defense getting enough plays done for them to at least get the plus 3.5. But I don't know. I'm leaning on I might take that. That's just kind of a gut feel. Anything else you're looking at for week 1 right now?
Yeah, I like the Falcons at home against the Seahawks. Generally, they're a bet-on team at home. The fact that they're an underdog, I think, is even better. You mentioned it. I mean, this is a game traveling across the country for Seattle. It's a 1 o'clock Eastern matchup. Seattle's a good football team, but I'm actually pretty high on Atlanta this year. I think offensively they're good. I don't ever have to worry about them moving the football. I think Todd Gurley maybe has a little bit of a renaissance year after last year. He goes somewhere else and has some success. A lot of people won't ever bring it up, but Atlanta's one of the better places to play in the NFL. It's a dome stadium. It's a good city to live in. And I think Gurley will kind of renaissance his career a little bit. I like the Hayden Hurst bringing him in to go with kind of what Matt's Ryan needs across the middle. We know the receivers are solid, but for me, Clip, it's more about their defensive prowess this year. I thought the end of the season, the second half of the season, I thought they were very good. They made the move and took Raheem Morris to the defensive coordinator role. They did a nice job last year. I think they have an underrated front seven. I like what they did in the draft, bringing in A.J. Terrell, who's one of a really solid corner. I like their safeties. Keanu Neal's back, Ricardo Allen. I think they're going to be a pretty tough team. And at home, they always seem to play close to the vest. It's a tough spot for Seattle, especially with the quarantines and the limited preseason and training camp. Going across the country is not exactly easy. So I kind of like Atlanta a little bit. One other one, I'm very high on the Detroit Lions. I think they take care of business week 1 against the Chicago Bears. We have to remember, when Matt Stafford was healthy last year, they were a very good football team. And I think they're another team that offensively, I think could have one of the better offenses in the league. I think they will. They bring in a new running back with Kerryon Johnson now and Swift. They have a good offensive line and good receivers. But another team I think is going to make their bones in the defensive side. They're basically New England of the Midwest now. They have 5 or 6 starters that were at New England at one point. They come over to Patricia. They bring in Okuda, who kind of fills in admirably for Darius Slay. I love the Lions. I'm very high on them this year.
All right, Falcons, Lions, a couple of the teams that the BMOC, Jeff Nadeau's looking at, also with the Texans getting all those points on Thursday night. Big man, while we got you here, couple of NBA games tonight, couple of 4.5-point spreads. The Heat, a 4.5-point favorite against the Bucks, and the Lakers, a 4.5-point favorite over the Rockets. The totals somewhat close, 218 I'm seeing for Miami, Milwaukee, 222 for Lakers, Rockets. Any NBA side or lean that you're looking at right now for tonight?
Yeah, I think for Milwaukee to obviously win, they have to have Giannis tonight. I mean, they can't. They're not going to get what they got the other night from what they got. Middleton was terrific. Look, I got a lot of crap on Twitter for downplaying how good of a player Middleton is, but look, it's Chris Middleton. You shouldn't be giving up 38 points or whatever it was to one player. I thought Miami was poor the other night. They turned the ball over too much late in the game, and they still had a shot to win. Goran Dragic was poor the other night, but Giannis needs to play tonight. They're not going to get the same production out of Bledsoe or Lopez. If Giannis doesn't play, they lose. My indication is he'll play, but I mean the problem that the Bucks have, Clip, is Mike Budenholzer makes no adjustments, and he doesn't. It wouldn't surprise me if Budenholzer comes in and says, "Just sit out tonight, Giannis." He doesn't seem like he ever has any interest in playing Giannis as many minutes as he needs to.
Well, he even came out and said it after a game, Jeff, that Middleton and Giannis had met their minutes cap.
Ridiculous
in the playoffs. Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look, I understand the kid's not going to play 48 minutes, but it's the playoffs. You're down 3-1, and at that point you were down 3-0. And you got to wonder, Middleton, what's he have left? I mean, he played 48 minutes the other night. My thought here would be they lose. I think Miami's just a better team than they are. But hey, if they win tonight, it gets interesting. No team has ever come back 3-0, so I guess we'll see. But if I had to play this, I think there's one constant in the series, Clip. The one constant is the Heat score. They've scored 111 or more in every game. 115 or more in every game. The Bucks can't stop the Heat. Doesn't really matter who's in there, whether Giannis is there or not. The Heat score. I didn't think they were very good the other night from 3. They only shot 35%. Then they got to the foul line 20 times, and they still scored 115. So I would lean team total over.
Team total 111.5. I see, Jeff. So, yeah, the numbers would add up there.
Yeah, that's where I would go.
Yeah, all right. Big man on campus, Jeff Nadeau, joining us on a Tuesday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Jeff, love to get your take on things early in the week. We'll do it again later in the week on Thursday and talk more football with you, man.
Look forward to it, Clip. Thanks.
Thank you, BMOC. Jeff Nadeau joining us on a Tuesday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Shirley, let's get a timeout in. We will come back. Get ready to wrap up hour number 1. We'll kick off Hour 2 with Austin Cox from the AAC Daily. Look around the American, recap Week 1, talk some Pirate football. We'll talk a lot of Pirate football for the remainder of our show after that with Stephen Igoe and Ronnie Woodward, who will join me inside the Pirate Radio studios coming up around 4:30 this afternoon. Also, we got to open up the booty bag in hour number 3 of today. Pirate Radio booty bag has been stocked. We'll make you a winner in hour number 3. We'll find out what the prize will be when we return on Pirate Radio Live. More to go in hour number 1 after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, save over $9,000 off on the all-new 2020 Buick Envision. Remember, Brown & Wood is the home for the lifetime powertrain warranty for all makes and models.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville.
The Frells family lives on a lush piece of land called greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Get quality at every turn with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer, with 27 locations in North Carolina and South Virginia. Find out more at qualityequip.com.
If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor, or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ronnie's Motorsports. It will guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ronnie's Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville.
Hey Pirate fans, the Papa John's menu has grown again with the all-new grilled buffalo chicken papadilla. The papadillas are part sandwich, part pizza, and are only $6. Choose from the all-new grilled buffalo chicken, Philly cheesesteak, Italian, pepperoni meatball, and barbecue chicken and bacon, all for only $6 each. Also, for a limited time, get any large 5-topping pizza for only $13.99. Place your order today online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
It's time to get back in the saddle with Rocking Horse Ranch. Join us Saturday, November 14th for an evening filled with games and prizes to support the reopening of the Rocking Horse Ranch Therapeutic Riding Program. Rocking Horse Ranch provides a fun and unique therapy program to our special needs, cancer, and veterans community. The horses miss their favorite students and can't wait to see them again soon. And Rocking Horse cannot do this without you. Join us November 14th to get back in the saddle, or visit rhrnc.com for more information.
Summertime is here with hot temperatures, thunderstorms, and hurricanes. It's easy to recognize pests invading your home, but a lot of people forget about moisture destroying your home's crawl space. Pest Tech is celebrating its 20th year protecting your homes using dehumidifiers, professional-grade liners, and most importantly, our licensed and highly trained technicians. Visit pesttechofgreenville.com for a free estimate on moisture control and the other silent destroyer, termites. Trust your home to the best. Pest Tech of Greenville, your East Coast exterminating professionals.
Pirate Radio 1250 and 930.
And you write that down, because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it!
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by University PC Care, your local tech support experts for all your personal and business needs. Visit universitypccare.com to learn more today. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. From sales to service, Greenville Auto World has all of your vehicle needs covered. Shop all their inventory now at greenvilleautoworld.net. If you're also looking for someone to service your vehicle, Greenville Auto World has a full service and repair facility. Brakes, oil changes, tires, inspections, and they can repair any kind of vehicle. Greenville Auto World, across from Speedway at Bells Fork, and online at greenvilleautoworld.net. Thanks to Tim Sutton and Jim Rogers of Greenville Auto World. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right, Shirley Rhodes, thank you. Welcome back into the program. Do we need to talk about the Orioles? They are a game and a half back of the Yankees for the final playoff spot. They just beat the Yankees 3 times in a row,
which is shocking.
Igoe's Mariners are 2 games back of the Yankees for the final wild card spot. So this shortened year could make for some interesting races down the stretch, and the O's actually have a shot, Shirley, to do something here. Do we have O's baseball tonight?
Yes, we do. 7:05.
Mets. All right. An opportunity to win some more games.
Well, here's the interesting thing that I was reading earlier today, that the Orioles pitching staff has a combined 3.63 ERA right now. So it's not just the bats that are doing the talking.
I would have taken the over on that number going into the year.
Yeah, but their pitching is trending in the right direction, and with all the hits that Santander and Rio Ruiz have, their bats have been electric the last few games. Well, really, a good portion of the season. They went into a little bit of a slump. They went on a losing streak. I think they lost 4 or 5 games straight, and then they've kind of straightened it up a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get that last playoff spot.
And the Rays running away with the AL East, as they were able to take down the Yankees last week, and the Orioles did the same. So the hurt Yankees struggling right now. Some other news and notes. Was looking forward to Oklahoma State Tulsa this Saturday, Shirley, but unfortunately that will not be happening. That game has been moved, and saw there's another AAC game moved that was scheduled for, I think, either next week or a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, the Tulsa-Oklahoma State game has been moved back a week, so it'll be on September 19th instead of the 12th. The Temple-Navy game will be was originally scheduled for September 26th. That has now been rescheduled. It will be played October 10th in Annapolis, and they did set a kickoff time for that. It'll be at 6 o'clock, and I believe it's going to be on CBS Sports Network. I didn't write that down, but I'm almost positive that's where it was going to be. And a couple of other games, Marshall was supposed to host Rice on October 3rd. That game has been postponed. No date yet where they're going to move that game to. That's going to be announced at a later time. And UAB and Rice, that game that was scheduled for October 10th has been also postponed. No date as of yet. So that's what we've got as far as scheduling changes.
Okay. And I believe a lot of issues with Rice, Temple, and Tulsa. The reasons for those
COVID-related, yes. And so that's what we've got. Couple other news and notes that I was keeping an eye on. We'll talk about the Lincoln Riley announcement here in just a moment, but I want to bring these up. Mile High Stadium has announced that they will allow 5,700 fans for their September 27th game between the Broncos and the Bucks. That's only a 7.5% capacity because Mile High can hold over 76,000 fans, but they're only allowing 5,700.
What did the doctors say about COVID and elevation?
I don't know.
Okay.
But they are, as of right now, that is the only game that they have announced that small of capacity is only for that particular game. Mm-hmm. I guess what they're going to do is pretty much what all the other NFL teams are going to do. They're just going to evaluate week by week and then kind of go from there.
Yeah.
And another interesting tidbit that popped up, and, because a lot of these athletic departments and colleges across the nation are trying to figure out how they're going to recoup the money of not having fans in the stands and trying to come up with different ways to generate revenue. Well, the University of Colorado has now become the first NCAA school to sign an official sports betting partner.
All right.
So now they may, and that is a potential for another revenue stream for an athletic department, and it's going to, at the same time, kind of dismantle the NCAA's ban on gambling.
Right, yeah.
So it'll be interesting how that plays out, but with, and it may be the start of another trend. I mean, we've been talking about how scheduling has been going up and down, and games are being added at the drop of a hat. Now we may see these colleges start picking up phones and talking to sports betting partners.
What if there was a sports book right outside Dowdy Ficklin? How many more fans would go to the game on Saturday?
It would be. It is an awfully interesting scenario.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see how that plays out. And, of course, the news that you and I both talked about earlier today, where Lincoln Riley announced that Oklahoma will no longer provide the coronavirus data to the public because they're saying that is going to provide a competitive disadvantage to the Sooners. And I don't know.
We'll get more into that with Igoe and Ronnie.
Yeah.
Now, if you're on the up and up, and then you're just going to say this guy's unavailable and can't play today, that's fine. But, I mean, this could really turn ugly if you're not going to show what your COVID numbers are, who's positive, who's negative. What if a guy is positive, but you think he's asymptomatic and everything? Do you play him like that? There's like a moral dilemma. We'll talk about it later. I think we got our next guest on the line. We need to take a quick break,
okay,
Shirley,
that's fine,
before we get to Austin Cox. But we will talk to him about all things AAC, ECU football, COVID, and more. We will talk to Austin Cox from the AAC Daily when we return on Pirate Radio Live. We're back with you after this.
In studio today with Matlock, also known as Brad Evans to his friends and family. Why F3?
F3 is a great way to work out, get in shape, but most importantly, F3 is a way to get together with other guys in the community, develop a great group of friends, and have a good time doing it. What I'd tell people about F3 is don't be afraid to get up early in the morning to go work out. You can do it.
One letter, one number, F3. Learn more today at f3enc.com.
When you don't have time to go to lunch, let Jimmy John's deliver lunch to you. With Jimmy John's, we can get a freaky fresh sandwich to you freaky fast. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com. Dinner's great. It's one of your top 3 favorite meals. You just don't want to have to make it. Well, with Jimmy John's, you don't have to. Whether you live in a sandwich delivery zone or head into the store, you can always get a freaky fresh sandwich. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com.
Every team knows that the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I'm here. State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer and my team are here to help you go for 2 by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score some savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, Timothy Sawyer, at 493-0002 today.
This is Dr. Phil Perdue with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. My colleagues and I recognize how difficult this time is for everyone in our community. We continue to see patients during the week while taking precautions to keep everyone safe. Our extended care clinic is now open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. so you can avoid the emergency department for your urgent orthopedic care. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at orthoeast.com.
It's bow time.
Years from now, you'll tell your grandkids. Back in my day, we could get 2 Bojangle sausage biscuits for just $2.50. And those biscuits, shoot, they were always made from scratch. And that zesty sausage, sizzling like the summer of 2033. Then your grandkids will say, wow, 2020 sounds amazing. And you'll say, not really. But those biscuits were. Get 2 sausage biscuits for just $2.50.
It's bow time.
Over 32 years ago, the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina opened its doors as a place to help families stay together and close to the care they need when they have a sick child. With the addition of a second Ronald McDonald House inside the Maynard Children's Hospital, our need to serve is greater than ever as the medical community flourishes. Help us expand our mission of keeping families close as we grow to meet that need. You can show your support by making a donation to the Ronald McDonald House. Visit our website today at rmhenc.org for more information. Thank you for your support.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get auto, home, life, and business insurance all from one agency? Well, that's where the Gavigan Agency comes in. They can help protect what is important to you. So why not simplify your life? See the Gavigan Agency in Greenville or give them a call today at 252-756-1400. Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
CD's Grill in Winterville wants to thank you for all of your support during these crazy times. CD's Grill has the area's best country cooking, and you can come and enjoy a down-home breakfast or one of our daily country lunch specials at CD's Grill.
CD's now has an incredible lunch special from 11 till 2 every Saturday. Choose from 2 hot dogs, cheeseburger, or chicken sandwich with fries and a drink for only $4.99 at CD's Grill every Saturday.
CD's Grill, 111 West Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, W224EI Greenville, WDLX Washington, and W281CH Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here is your host, Clip Rock.
All right, back with you, Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll talk Pirate football with Stephen Igoe and Ronnie Woodward. The duo going to join me inside the Pirate Radio studios later on this hour. Also in hour number 3, we got to open up the Pirate Radio booty bag once again. Shirley, do you have your list in front of you? We forgot. We need to let folks know what they have a chance to be winning in hour number 3. What you got?
Let's try, you know what? Let's do Chico's today.
All right. That sounds like a shrimp taco, rice, beans.
Sure.
All right. There it is. Chico's. You can be a winner. I haven't had Chico's in a while. I need to change that, fix that very soon. To the Fixed NC Live line now. Talk some American football, some East Carolina football with C. Austin Cox. You can follow him on Twitter at C. Austin Cox from the AAC Daily. Austin, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
Pretty good. I'm getting a little hungry now, Cliff.
Sorry about that. It's a couple hours before dinner time, getting folks excited for maybe a shrimp taco tonight. Might be a good call. But Austin, let's recap week 1 before we look ahead. And we got to start with last night, right? I don't remember, and I know there are some instances where Navy has had it handed to them, but and maybe you can refresh my memory. I don't remember a Kendi Amatololo team looking like that, Austin, from what we saw last night in that BYU game. They were just pummeled from start to finish by the Cougars.
They really were. It was a rough start, and I think we're going to see that the more we see some of these programs come out of the closet and dust off the cobwebs, Cliff. I mean, we're going to see a lot of these schools, after months of trying to adapt to new protocols, new styles, new rules on how they're allowed to practice, of course, due to COVID-19. You know, I don't know if Navy was an extreme, but you would like to think so, at least if you're a fan of the American Athletic Conference, considering, you know, we learned last night that the Navy midshipmen were practicing without live tackling, which I appreciate the safety concerns. I'm sure many out there do, but it came as a surprise when you're practicing for live football to find that out, that these guys are not actually tackling in practice.
C. Austin Cox joining us on the Fixed NC Live line, and that was certainly an issue for the midshipmen. Looking at the other two teams that were in action over the weekend, I focus too much probably on the lines of these games. So when I see that Memphis beat Arkansas State 37-24 and SMU knocked off Texas State 31-24, I have a ho-hum reaction to that. Austin, it's probably not fair. So let's talk about what these teams did well. Memphis and SMU. You can start with the Mustangs and their win over Texas State. What'd you like from Shane Buechele and the guys?
Well, there you go. You said his name, and we're going to hear it all season long. Shane Buechele, you know, what's not to like? He's got the best arm in the state of Texas. So sorry if you got any Houston fans out there, but that's just the reality. He's better than Erlanger at Texas. He's better than Mond at Texas A&M. The kid is skilled, and he's really done a great job of just resurrecting his career at SMU. Just like everybody else, though, it looked like he was a little out of sync, much like the rest of the offense for SMU early down there at Texas State. With that one, I can come up with all kinds of excuses for humidity. Maybe they needed that old pickle juice, something, but it definitely gave a reason for SMU fans to be at least a little concerned heading into that next game.
How about Memphis? Of course, Brady White, another familiar name there, 4 touchdowns for him with the Tigers. What about their performance against Arkansas State? 13-point win in the opener.
Yeah, another big surprise. Like you mentioned, we were looking at the line before that one. These teams going in these games expecting to win by, 3 scores, 3 touchdowns, and then to kind of eke them out. For the Memphis game, I don't think the score really reflected the struggles that Memphis had there. They're replacing a lot of talent on the offensive line, and, of course, I'd be remiss not to mention Mike Norvell going to Florida State, but we didn't expect that big of a hiccup considering the consistency and continuity that they have keeping Ryan Silverfield there. When I talked to the Memphis coaches earlier, they didn't seem that concerned. It just like a lot of these guys are kind of brushing it off, saying, getting those cobwebs off, but, much like SMU, the fans, they got a little bit more sweat than they expected.
Yeah, and I said earlier in the show, maybe it's a bit of a blessing that ECU's opener was pushed back and has now unfortunately been pushed back a couple of times to the 26th when they take on UCF. And, Mike Houston's able to see BYU have to generate their own energy from the sidelines, and can also see what these other teams did, good or bad, on film. Austin, what about, and we'll get to week 2 in a moment, but we've already mentioned Buechele and White. Where is Holton Ahlers when it comes to quarterbacks in the AAC? Where does he kind of stand amongst the best in the league, in your opinion?
I think he's got a big old question mark hanging over him. We saw some flashes last year. There's some reasons for people around the league, not just Pirate fans, but people all around the conference and around the country to get excited when he had those flashes where it looks like he could be the kind of quarterback to put a team on his shoulders, to really charge ahead and take control of things. Then, of course, you saw some of those young mistakes. The expectations right now as it stands is we're hoping to see a breakout year for Holton, but like with everybody, it's just so much of this start and stop. It gets hard for these kids to get into a rhythm, and maybe, we don't want to see it, but it might be longer than we anticipated for him to find himself and be that player that we expect him to be.
See Austin Cox joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. We'll talk a little more EC week 2 in a moment. I do want to point out, as I'm watching CBS Sports right now, and they're throwing out their, the playoff teams. I saw it Saturday on College Game Day. I saw it again today. I think it was Dennis Dodd today, and maybe Desmond Howard Saturday have Cincinnati in their college football playoff poll. And, you've got a lot of teams obviously not playing this year. That gives an opportunity for the AAC to maybe jump in there and get a team in the college football playoff. What do you think about Luke Fickell's bunch? Are they that good, Austin, where they could make a push for a potential Final Four?
I tell you, with Cincinnati, I think the name of the game is just that defense, that Luke Fickell defense that he kind of brought down and is built from his Ohio State mold. There's a lot of excitement, of course, around Desmond Ridder at quarterback. They lose Michael Warren at running back, but I think there are a lot of reasons to be excited for Cincinnati. There's question marks, too, but when you look at Cincinnati, Memphis, and UCF, that's your front runners. And, if Cincinnati is able to get through things unscathed, which very well, this is a tough league to get through. If they can, I could certainly see them in the playoff. The surprise to me is the respect that the Bearcats are getting, as well as the league, with some saying a one-loss Bearcats team can get in. Because that says just as much about the league as it does about Cincinnati.
One team I'm also looking at, and we're going to have to go to the bottom of the media poll here, but South Florida, Jeff Scott taking over there. And, I'm interested in them, Austin, because they're picked to finish below East Carolina this year. There's no more UConn in the basement. So South Florida, preseason-wise, takes that spot. And, man, I've said it so many times. This league is so cyclical with, there were years ago, Memphis was awful. UCF couldn't win a game with George O'Leary there towards the end of his tenure, and they're at the top. What about South Florida and their fall from grace here? It wasn't too long ago Quentin Flowers, Marlon Mack, and those guys were putting up a lot of points.
But you're totally right there, and I still say to this day that Willie Taggart owes Quentin Flowers a big chunk of every single dime he's made.
True.
Quentin Flowers is one of those rare players that comes through a program, and USF, of course, like a lot of schools here in the American, are dealing with different budgets than maybe they used to in the past. Cincinnati, of course, you mentioned UConn, it's gone now, but these schools that we're working with more, and then they kind of changed. With USF, they clearly took it the hardest, but it's hard to overlook the Charlie Strong impact that a program can take. For them, it's not a surprise at all. Even with Jeff Scott and all the hype surrounding him coming out of Clemson, you can't help but look at USF and say they have a longer road. I'm actually a little bit surprised by ECU getting picked below Tulsa simply because of Mike Houston. And when you talk to the players there at ECU, they really rally around Coach Houston. And it's not like at other schools where you can talk to a player, you can get a vibe, and they can all say the same thing, but their eyes will tell you different things. And ECU players seem excited about Houston. And based on what we've seen, the guy can definitely win and build a winner with a program.
Couple of teams in action this week the Pirates are trying to finish ahead of in the standings this year. That's South Florida taking on the Citadel on Saturday, and Tulane taking on South Alabama. We saw the Jags take down Southern Miss in Week 1. Tulane and Willie Fritz trying to avoid an upset this weekend.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you what, Willie Fritz, if any of your listeners tune into our show, I go on about Willie Fritz probably a little bit too much. Just what can you say about a guy that's won back-to-back bowls at Tulane? But the Sun Belt, and with South Alabama, that's a hungry program and a hungry league. And for it to be a road game this early, you gotta have your head on a swivel if you're Tulane right now.
And shout out to Tulane getting a nice little ESPN2 spot coming up this Saturday night. So good for the Green Wave. Austin, before we let you go, and you've mentioned Mike Houston, we talked a little bit about Holt Nailers. Pirates fit in 2020 with the American. What kind of team do you think we'll see this year, and where do they stand right now in the AAC?
I tell you what, it's ECU. It's easy to just simplify it and say they're a team on the rise. They are still in that expected to be in the bottom half performance-wise, but this is one of those years where anything can happen. We were just talking about Cincinnati in the playoffs. There's people talking about two AAC teams, in the NY6 bowls with somebody getting an at-large. A lot can happen in 2020. So with ECU, I don't want to write them off. I like to have a little bit of magic when it comes to college football.
Man, hoping for a big year, especially offensively for the Pirates, and Blake Harrell has been hired to try to fix that defense on that side of the ball. We're going to have to wait a little bit, of course, till ECU kicks it off with Central Florida on the 26th of September. Talking to C. Austin Cox today. You can follow him on Twitter at C. Austin Cox. Anything else to plug for you?
Check us out over there at the show, AAC Daily. We got Michael Resgo on this evening. We're going to be talking to him about the American Athletic Conference. And thanks for having me on, Cliff.
Absolutely. Enjoyed it. We'll talk to you later on this college football season, more about the AAC and the Pirates. And once again, when you look at the college football schedule, you're going to see a lot of postponements. And one of those, unfortunately, is Marshall ECU this week. Also, Florida International UCF postponed, SMU TCU postponed, but there are a couple of AAC teams in action with the Citadel taking on South Florida and Tulane, South Alabama coming up on both Saturday night. Top 25 action this weekend. We mentioned Syracuse and North Carolina. Boy, the Tar Heels, big favorites over Dino Babers and the Orange. That's a noon kickoff. Iowa State, ranked 23rd in the country, will take on Louisiana. ESPN noon kickoff. Duke at Notre Dame. That's on NBC, and that'll be at 2:30. I think Notre Dame is allowing some fans in South Bend. Missouri State, Oklahoma. That's that pay-per-view game we were talking about. So, according to this, tickets are as low as $64 on, I guess this is StubHub, whoever has a partnership with EN.com, where I'm looking at the schedule. And you can buy the pay-per-view for like $55. So, I'll just be following score updates on that one. Not going to pay that much money to watch Oklahoma and Missouri State. ABC, Saturday night, Clemson at Wake Forest. On the Longhorn Network, it'll be Texas versus UTEP. And then, of course, UCF postponed. I did see that there is a late night kickoff, I believe. And let me make sure. I think it's Kansas, Coastal Carolina, Fox Sports 1, 10 o'clock kickoff from Lawrence coming up this Saturday. All right, we'll talk a lot more football, college football, and more with Stephen Igoe and Ronnie Woodward, the dynamic duo, going to join us here inside the Pirate Radio studios coming up next on Pirate Radio Live. We'll take a time out, come back, have those guys in studio for you after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Woodward Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal: to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Wood is employee pricing on all Buicks and GMC SUVs, including Canyon, with the purchase and lease options. Remember, Wood is the home for the lifetime powertrain warranty for all makes and models.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Know what I like most about my new phone from US Cellular?
I don't know.
That it was $700 off.
What? Switch to US Cellular and get $700 off the latest phones. US Cellular. Choose fair.
Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line, port in, credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month retail installment contract. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
Are you trying to reduce clutter? Want to save a tree? Greenville Utilities can help. E-bill is a simple solution. Imagine getting an email letting you know your bill is ready. And with a few clicks on your computer or smartphone, you can review and pay your bill. It's just that easy. Signing up is simple. All you need to do is to log on to your account at guc.com and update your contact information and e-bill setting. You can even continue to receive a paper bill if you'd like. E-bill from Greenville Utilities. Just one of the ways GUC is here for you.
In studio today with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy. How can you help people with back pain?
Well, most people are going to have back pain at some point during their life, but you don't have to live with it. A bad MRI or a bad x-ray does not mean you're destined to always have pain. We have specialists that are well trained to find out what the true problem is and the true source of your pain so they can get you on track to feeling better. So don't suffer with back pain. Our nationally board certified specialists are here to help you. To learn more, visit us at kptonline.com. We can help you live well, move more, and hurt less.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, pirates supporting pirates.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
Bostic Sugg Furniture wants to know, how'd you sleep last night? If you're like thousands, the answer is probably not very well. You're tired, stressed, your job suffers, and worse, your health suffers. Get better sleep on a Restonic mattress, a Consumer's Digest Award winner 13 years running. Restonic Queen mattresses start as low as $4.99. Restonic two-sided Queen mattresses from only $6.99. If you're ready to wake up to a whole new you, we have a Restonic mattress waiting for you, exclusively at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
This is Coach Blake Carroll, defense coordinator for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Quality Equipment is your full-service John Deere dealer with 27 locations to serve you. Quality Equipment is open in Winterville next to Sam's Club. or you can visit online at qualityequip.com to find the location near you. And as we head back into Pirate Radio Live, Clip, I've got an interesting tidbit for you. This just came over Twitter just a couple of minutes ago.
I like tidbits.
ESPN has decided that they will not use Hank Jr.'s song, All My Rowdy Friends, for Monday Night Football. They're going to go with a Little Richard song called Rip It Up. Now, the decision is only for this year. They have not announced whether that is going to be a permanent change.
Okay. So, are you ready for some football? When Stephen Igoe turns to see his Broncos take on the Titans next Monday night, if you want to be ready for some football, you'll have to pull up Hank Williams on YouTube, Igoe, to get you fired up for the game.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
As someone who's watched Monday Night Football for a
Get
long time.
ready! I mean, get ready. Yeah, that is another tradition.
Monday Night Football has just lost its luster altogether, so I guess you might as well go ahead and just get rid of it all. Get rid of all the traditions.
So like Louis Riddick a lot, he's going to be color analyst. Who's the play-by-play guy for Monday Night Football now?
Is it Steve Levy?
I think
Yes.
I thought it was Bob Lee.
No. No.
Bringing Bob Lee out.
Bob Lee.
Sunday sports reporter.
Bob Lee's on the desk. He's not.
Outside the line.
Steve Levy.
Outside the line.
Steve Levy. Yeah, is the answer.
I mean, Bob Lee, Steve Levy.
I see where you got that from.
It was a good guess, for sure.
But two totally different ends of the spectrum there. I like Steve Levy.
But he's not a Monday Night voice.
I've said this before. You got to have that iconic big game voice. And I think you agree with, like, Mike Tirico, I felt like was on the path
really
to that.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw and Al Michaels is obviously the one, and he's on Sunday Night Football. I believe I saw that Al is going to have some bye weeks this year, quote unquote, and Mike Tirico will do the games with Collinsworth on Sunday Night Football. I think they're going to have the college football crew call a game next Monday too, because it's the Monday night doubleheader, which they do every week one for the NFL.
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to look up, is what is going to be the announcer crew for the Titans-Broncos game. Because usually the West Coast games, let's see, get kind of a...
I think they might get the main crew this year. I believe I read that.
Oh, really? Let's see, new team debuts with Titans-Broncos, yeah.
Yep.
And then second game, I guess, gets another crew.
Wait,
so, yeah.
But the Broncos are the second game, aren't they?
Yeah, but the other game I meant.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because they kick off at 10:10 Eastern.
Strong start. Great time for Stephen Igoe, who is a fan of the Denver Nuggets, who are in the playoffs, the Seattle Mariners, who are in a playoff push.
Playoff push in September. Let's go.
The undefeated Denver Broncos.
The Nuggets, by the way, very disappointed in last night's game.
Did they lose?
I haven't watched them one single time this round.
They had it was like a one possession game on 3 straight possessions, and Grant, who I like, he took
Jeremy
3
Grant.
consecutive shots with like 2 minutes to go and missed all 3. Like, got to give it to Jokic or my boy Murray, who had a terrible game, by the way.
Joker's had some highlights last night.
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
Passing the ball.
But Murray had an off day.
All right, where to begin? I guess we should start with ECU.
You should probably start by introducing us.
Oh, Stephen Igoe from Hoist the Colors is here.
Ronnie's just sitting over here.
At the same time.
Hey, Ronnie. Ronnie's here as well.
What's up?
R. Woodward joining us from the Daily Reflector. As we missed out on Monday, Ronnie, figured we'd add him to the group here on Tuesday with Igoe.
I don't think all 3 of us have been in the studio at the same time. On air, at least.
I feel like we probably did like a MLB preview or something a year or 2 ago.
It's been years.
It's been a long time since we've all been here. A little ECU roundtable. Unfortunately, I don't know. Is there any news to report?
We're just waiting on post-practice.
We have a Zoom.
All we do is look forward to Zooms now, right?
That's the life, man. We're still not allowed to attend practice, or at least we haven't been told that we're allowed to. So,
if you have any comments or questions, you can do that 317-1250, or hit us up.
We can talk about stuff,
or on Facebook and Twitter. You can try us there as well, because again, it is hard to kind of know what's going on. I feel like that with my NFL team week 1 with Washington. I don't know who the heck their starters are on offense, what they've looked like, because there's been no preseason. The training camp has been quiet as far as media goes compared to years past. Same thing with ECU. We don't get to see anything all we can go by is what Mike Houston's telling us, or if you have sources inside the program that are telling you something as well.
I think, and they'll probably wait till after the scrimmage this coming weekend, but I think they're starting to formalize a depth chart based on what I've heard, and starting to settle some position battles to kind of get in game mode. So I think we should maybe start to hear some of that. I don't know about this week, but in the near future, maybe early next week, from what I've heard. It's interesting. You look at the NFL, they're letting reporters watch training camp, but now that they're in game mode, they're not allowed to report on what they watch. So it's really weird. I've listened to some Broncos podcasts, and they're like, yeah, this player looked pretty good today, but I can't say what he's doing or I'll get my credential revoked. So it's interesting that the NFL,
tough to do.
Yeah, the NFL lets you watch, but you can't report on what you watch. But at least they get to watch.
Yeah.
We're just chilling.
More than we can do.
Yeah. Well, what's the point, though?
I guess just to have a better feel for the team. Which in training camp, you can report on what they're doing, but once they start, like, game prep, you can't.
All right.
But, it's difficult to know how ECU's going to line up with so many new players.
You mentioned position groups, and let's get into that a little bit. O-line wise, you've kind of hinted and talked about Deontay Smith not being there a lot this preseason. Where is he right now as far as the tackle position goes?
Well, we know that he was in quarantine last week. When did they do their Justice March?
It was last
Monday.
Because there was the tweet about it.
With Shankweiler.
That's
right.
Yep.
They said my guy's quarantined.
And there's been some photos that I've seen on Twitter and whatnot from scrimmages and practices where I've seen him not in pads.
Yeah, there was a highlight video of him celebrating where he wasn't in pads, and that was before all this. So.
This is what we resorted to, is breaking down the photos and videos.
Literally, the UCF writer for 24/7 Sports, every day they put out a practice video, and he posts it, and he'll break down who's making catches.
Second by second breakdown of the
who's on the practice video.
People do that with movie trailers and stuff. Like when an Avengers movie comes out. So that is a concern, but also I mentioned earlier, I think one of the positives of ECU being pushed back now a couple of times for their season opener is you kind of get to see what college football looks like in 2020. You saw BYU having to make their own energy and all that stuff. I think another positive is Deontay Smith and hopefully getting him right, because he is a key part to your offense this year.
Yeah, he definitely is. And I know that Nashad Strother has been working some at left tackle, redshirt freshman out of Havelock, but you still want your senior out there as a senior, and so it'll be interesting to see when he comes back. And the other thing is, we don't know how these guys are going to look physically. Smith, when they updated the roster, he was listed at 270 something pounds, which is pretty light for an offensive tackle in Division I. So you hope that he's able to put back on that weight and get closer to 300 by the first game. But if he's still in quarantine, I don't like speculating on that stuff, but we're left to because we have to. So and the same, the right tackle position is also interesting with Noah Henderson and Justin Chase coming over from NC State has been working there. So both tackle spots to me are going to be interesting to see how, who's out there on September 26th.
And Ronnie, we talk every year about wanting ECU to have a run game, and you can bring in all the Chase Haydens and develop the Moonies and do all that. But if you don't have an O-line, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's crazy because I like these running backs too. Steven and I were talking about it yesterday. We were watching Navy do its thing against BYU.
Plenty to talk about because there wasn't much to watch.
It was awful. We ended up watching the Nuggets game instead. But anyway, I like the running back situation. You don't want to depend on freshmen anyway, but I think one of the things that still stands out to me in the preseason, because again, we don't have a whole lot to go off of, is Keaton Mitchell had a 94-yard touchdown run. And again, to the credit of the release and video and whatnot, he went to the outside. We know he bounced it to the outside and ran up the sideline basically for the touchdowns. When was the last time we saw that?
I was just going to say,
Chris Johnson, Wake Forest, 2000
his
or whatever
freshman
that was.
year.
Yeah. And again, it's a scrimmage.
Yeah.
But that, Darius Penix and Trace Christian are kind of bigger, short yardage, kind of power inside the tackles guy. But if Rajay Harris, Keaton Mitchell, two freshmen, plus the Arkansas transfer have any of that speed, outside type ability, that's not the offense, I guess, that you do a whole lot anymore. I mean, you think back to those Chris Johnson, it was like screen and sweep and tall. Like the spread offense has kind of negated some of that, I formation sweep type stuff. But still, I like the prospect and the speed of some of those new guys. Just for an added wrinkle. We've been so used to the inside run that hasn't worked for a while. Getting some speed and some big plays. I think I'm excited about from the running back side. But again, that's a freshman in a scrimmage. Does that mean he's going to do it against UCF? Doubt it if he plays. Or there's a lot of ifs in translating that to a game, but there's at least potential there to negate some of the problems you said on the offensive line potentially.
Yeah, and I mean, one position group I'm not worried about, which seems to be the case every year. I think there were some question marks heading into last year at the receiver position, but a lot of those questions were answered with C.J. Johnson really having a great second half of the year. Tyler Snead, it was just as good as we thought he'd be last year. Blake Prohl and Igoe, you've been hyping up. I shouldn't say that. You think that Audioma Tosho is going to take another step?
I do.
From where he's been. So, that's one position group that I don't really even need to see a purple gold spring game or a scrimmage to know that they should be ready to go and ready to put up some big numbers week one.
Yeah, I think offensively, you feel good about quarterback, you feel good about wide receiver, you feel pretty good about the running back. So to me, it comes down to the offensive line and the defense. Receiver-wise, I do worry a little bit about the numbers. They don't have a ton of scholarship guys, but when you look at the top five, especially the top three of C.J., Blake, and Tyler Snead, you know what you're getting. I know C.J.
Who's the fifth? I didn't mention Hatfield.
Hatfield, from what I think he's had kind of an up and down preseason. He missed some time, so CJ also missed some time early on in the workout. So both those guys are kind of coming back. And I think Omatosho, I went out and watched just a voluntary workout early in the summer when we could go out there. And he just looked in elite shape. And compared to last preseason where he was kind of sluggish, it was really no comparison. So you're talking about a guy who's 6'2", 190, can run, can jump. He's just got to catch the ball. He has all the physical tools. He had some drop issues last year. He's got to get over that. And I think if he makes some plays in a game, you'll see his confidence rise, and that'll make a big difference. But the thing is, how do you get him on the field with those three other receivers unless you go four wide?
Yeah. I have something, by the way, that relates to this. The Bill Wagner, the writer at Navy, sent me a message last week. Cool story idea, actually. He said he was working on something of the 10 best players Navy will see this season, opponent-wise. And said, hey, is there anybody on ECU I should include or, whatever. You don't have to, but just take in consideration. And I said, C.J. Johnson for sure. He was one of the best receivers, really argue in the country, at least freshman receivers last year.
Only a Navy guy would ask your opinion on these things, by the way, right now. After your Navy
Bill's
pick.
an OG, man. Bill is
I'm
he's
just kidding.
Mr. AAC writer. He's a good dude.
All
so
CJ, yeah.
I said CJ.
That's
I was
who would come to my mind.
No doubt CJ. And then I thought about it. I'm like, I didn't break down their schedule. I guess should include half of BYU's team. But I was like, Holton, obviously Ehlers, depending on what you have at quarterback, or whatever. That's about all I had. I don't know. Was I off base on that? Can y'all,
No, I think that's a good point.
CJ's an NFL
we won't
guy.
Jaquan McMillan, but he's a sophomore. We don't know what he's going to be. But I wish I could pinpoint another real impact guy on the defense. Maybe you can. I think we have a lot of guys with potential, but we're kind of tired of using that word, right?
Yeah, to me, defensively, they got to go out and prove it.
Yeah.
And I know that some of the transfers they're really high on, but until I see it in a game, you don't want to say too much. But offensively, I think CJ definitely has the highest ceiling. Tyler Snead, if he can do what he did the last 4 games, he had 55 catches or something insane. So if he can do that over the course of a full season, he would put up some monster numbers. But I definitely think Holton, if it wasn't for so many good quarterbacks in this league, you got Buechele, you got Brady White, you got Dylan Gabriel. So, there's a lot of established quarterbacks.
Ritter in Cincinnati.
Yeah, Ritter. Yeah. So, Holton's probably, on the surface coming into the year, probably 5th or 6th on most of those lists. But if if he plays the second half of last year for a full season, he could easily be a top 3 quarterback in the league. So I think CJ is the right pick based on his potential, but I think Holton can definitely be there.
Yeah. Another thing, too, I was thinking about Smith and, like, upperclassmen. Bivens, is he a senior this year?
Yep.
Like, you can't really say, well, this is it for them. I mean, this is because they're going to be seniors again next year, right?
Yep.
If they choose to
If
come
they
back.
choose to come back.
It is the strangest thing.
Tyler Snead, by the way, is going to be here for like 8 years.
Wait, is he a third-year freshman, kind of? Like,
basically. Well, he's a sophomore.
Yeah.
But he's got 81 catches with 4 years of eligibility remaining.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to break Hardy and Zay's record.
He's going to be the NCAA all-time reception leader. Because he had a decent amount his first 4 games. Yeah. And then they sat him, rightfully so, against NC State. David Blackwell made that call.
Yeah. Scotty was going to play him.
That's great. And, you know, how many Scotty wasn't going to play him.
He was. I asked him at the dang press conference.
Before
he got fired.
Before he was
I think
fired.
he would have changed his mind.
No.
But, I mean, I guess if he said he was.
I straight up asked him. He's like, yes, Tyler wants to play. I'm like, are you kidding me?
No Scotty 3-9 this year as Maryland is not. I don't know. Is the Big Ten back in? I haven't heard anything today.
No.
They're still out. All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back. More to go with Ronnie Woodward and Stephen Igoe from Hoist the Colors. More ECU football. We'll talk about what we saw over the weekend in the world of college football. Look ahead to week 2. And your questions, comments, if you want to chime in, 317-1250. You can chime in on Facebook Live and Twitter as well. Back with more Pirate Radio Live after this.
You don't need a big meeting. You don't need a birthday. You don't need any excuse at all. You just need to love subs. Times 12. Order the Jersey Mike's catering box today. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. Tired of cooking at home? Change it up without getting up. Just order Jersey Mike's through our app for no contact delivery or no contact at the door pickup. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
White Claw Hard Seltzer. Discover a new wave of refreshment. Crafted using seltzer water, 5% alcohol, and a hint of fruit. Available in 5 fruit flavors, 2 grams of carbs, gluten-free, and 100 calories. Find it at whiteclaw.com. White Claw Hard Seltzer. Nothing tastes quite like it. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with natural flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, 2019 Chicago. Visit whiteclaw.com for full nutritional information.
Looking for your next career opportunity or even just some extra cash to help pay for school? Your locally owned Dixon Foods McDonald's is hiring across Eastern North Carolina. They offer flexible hours, competitive pay, and even financial support to pursue your education through McDonald's Archways to Opportunity program. With plans to provide more than 100 new jobs currently, we hope you'll visit DixonFoods.com to learn more. Dixon Foods, proud to be your locally owned and locally operated franchisee for McDonald's.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And the drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
Let us help you get back to business. This is Donald Stocks and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina. We're ready to assist your business with branded PP face masks with your logo. We can do that, plus custom social distancing signage. Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all. We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
Over 32 years ago, the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina opened its doors as a place to help families stay together and close to the care they need when they have a sick child. With the addition of a second Ronald McDonald House inside the Maynard Children's Hospital, our need to serve is greater than ever as the medical community flourishes. Help us expand our mission of keeping families close as we grow to meet that need. You can show your support by making a donation to the Ronald McDonald House. Visit our website today at rmhenc.org for more information. Thank you for your support.
Welcome to Jack Brown's. What can I get for you?
You guys got chicken strips?
Nah, we don't have those.
Can I get a salad?
No, we don't carry salads, ma'am.
Well, what do you have?
We are glad you asked. This ain't no regular degular. This is American Wagyu beef.
These ain't your Uncle Timmy's charcoal bricks. Kiss the cook, kiss my grits.
Our burgers are 4 ounces of hand-pressed, made-to-order, perfectly seasoned ecstasy in a potato roll.
4 ounces not big enough for you, big man? Double patty time!
Or just grab a cheeseburger.
Jack Brown's, 805 Dickinson Avenue, Greenville.
Pirate Radio.
The
voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. And PRL this afternoon is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds Pirate fans to always stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here is your host, Clip Rock.
Alrighty, welcome back to Pirate Radio Live. Clip Rock. Stephen Igoe, Ronnie Woodward, packed house today inside the Pirate Radio studios. And trying to monitor Twitter here. Bob Bowlesby on the season going forward has taken this from a standpoint of how can we make this work instead of finding all the reasons why it wouldn't work. As a football fan, that is what I like to hear.
Yeah, I like that quote.
And I'm hoping that the other commissioners who are still playing football feel the same way, including Mike Oresco. Now, unfortunately, we have seen some games moved, including Tulsa, Oklahoma State, which was supposed to happen this coming week, and also Temple Navy, which was supposed to happen next week, got pushed back a week. So some games being moved, but still some games to be played. In fact, 2 AAC teams scheduled to play this weekend. Ronnie is very excited to bring back our AAC Survivor Pool. That's because he won last year.
Crushed it last year.
And we'll do that this week, guys. Before we talk about week 1, other than Navy looking awful last night, did anything stand out to you? Memphis, SMU? As I said last segment, that I look at it probably too much from a lines standpoint. So I was expecting SMU to score 60, Memphis to score 60, 2 walks in the park. That wasn't the case, really, for either game.
Yeah, I watched most of the SMU-Texas State game and probably the first half of Memphis and some of the second half. But SMU looks like the same team as last year. Dynamic offense, they're missing. I tell you what, they're missing their running back. They had a couple of guys. What was the guy's last name or guy's name last year? I can't remember.
Running back.
Yeah, I think he
Xavier Jones.
Yep, Xavier Jones was just a stud, and they're really missing him. They don't have Prochet, which Ronnie and I talked about.
Oh, he's a stud.
They have some really good JUCO guys they brought in, but they're missing some pieces. But their defense again, they were getting. It was pretty much a boom or bust. They blitzed a lot. They gave up some big plays. They made some plays. The Texas State quarterback was awful. He was like trying to be Johnny Manziel, but it was like a poor man Johnny Manziel. But again, their punter was out. They brought in an Aussie punter due to COVID, or due to their problems last year. He was out due to COVID, and so they didn't have a punter. And
they used safety again.
I think they used like their walk-on kicker as a punter, and he the first punt he kicked like 15 yards. So I was like, is this the same exact SMU team? But I think they're good, but they're beatable. Memphis, I think, is really good. Just watching their offensive line, they're massive up front. I mean, they can run the ball at will. They got great receivers. The quarterback play is solid. I think he's helped out by a lot of talent around him. But their defense looked beatable. But Arkansas State, if you don't know, Clip, you know that they're pretty good.
Did you say that? Did you?
That's what I said. Remember on Thursday or Friday? I can't remember what day.
You went 2-3 on your picks against the spread.
Yeah.
I went 3-2, including BYU minus, which was so easy to call, guys.
After that first drive, it was sad.
And I loved Cincinnati fans, and I don't know how many people reached out to you.
They got at me
on Twitter, Ronnie, but now you are the guy who put the bullseye on Navy this year, picking them to win the league, and also the guy that made a lot of teams upset, a lot of fans upset that you didn't take their team.
Cincinnati.
I wonder
Cincinnati's the only ones that care, evidently, or at least that saw it.
By the way, Desmond Howard and Dennis Dodd, I just saw on CBS Sports, have Cincinnati in the college football playoff this year.
Interesting.
As their fourth team.
I'm with Steven. I like Memphis. In retrospect, I probably should have picked Memphis, but to win it.
Hey man, you got to go bigger.
But yeah, whatever.
I don't know why y'all are like down on UCF so much.
I just don't like their
Josh Heupel. Do we really think he's like the second coming?
Yeah.
I think they have a million good players on the roster,
but they lost to.
Yeah, but they've had guys opt out.
They had 10 guys.
They could have more opt out. I just don't like. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like their vibe.
They're definitely the most talented team in the league. There's no doubt about that. But I'm just not sold on their coaching staff. And look, it's going to be a major challenge for ECU to compete with them just based off talent. But I don't see them like running the table and making the playoff.
I guess that's my overall point.
Yeah,
I think Memphis, Cincinnati, SMU, or probably not SMU, but maybe UCF. And obviously, I kind of threw Navy in the mix as a fifth team. But, like, I don't think one is that much better than the other. That's kind of my point. Like, UCF 2-3 years ago was dominant.
It's Navy, like, and everybody last night on the ECU side of it, we want Navy. All the Pirate fans and stuff. Like, this is it. This is the year. I'm still worried. I'm still reluctant to say ECU is going to beat Navy this year, but how much better will they get? They have issues at quarterback. That was my number one thing.
They don't have Malcolm Perry, which makes it a winnable game.
Yeah.
I mean, the Perry Olsen kid, like the guy they brought in after their starter, I mean, he's an adequate quarterback, but he's not a game changer. Like Malcolm Perry made the Miami Dolphins roster, because he's an NFL athlete. Like, they don't have a guy walking through that door that's going to do that. So,
and boy, defensively.
Yeah. That was
outside of number 54, Igoe, man.
Oh, yeah.
They got made. He had to have made 25 tackles in the 10 minutes we watched, but
and you got to
major issues.
Ask yourself too, like BYU's good.
Yeah.
By the way, how far have they come since Scotty Montgomery put the beat down on them a few years ago?
Yeah.
What was that? 2017.
I guess all their players were doing mission trips during that season or something because man, like they've got some hosses up front. And we were talking about this too, like where would BYU finish in the American? And we said probably top 3 or 4.
Yeah, they'd be right in that mix.
I mean, so that's something that you got to take into consideration. It's not like ECU's got their defensive line or offensive line. So
they look like Memphis the way they just pounded the running the ball. And can ECU do that against Navy's defense? I don't know. I don't think what's their O-line size? Igoe, their average size is probably a little bit bigger than the Pirates, right?
Yeah, I'm taking BYU's offensive line every day. I mean, they've got like 25-year-old men out there with their style of play and the way they do things. So, but it's
a bad matchup for Navy.
It's
or
bad.
not matchup, but once they got down,
they were
was
done.
3 and out. Touchdown, 3 and out, touchdown, game was over. So it works
Just like
both ways with Navy. Yeah, when they have a good first quarter and they control it, which is what they did last year. That's why they went 11-3 or whatever, because they had really good first quarters and halves. ECU game was a great example, but so many other ones. But it can work against them when they go 3 and out on their first possession or first 2. You get in a hole. So I think last night, at least the score and the way it played out was an aberration. I could be wrong, and they could be really, really bad and have quarterback issues all year. And if they do, so be it. I'll eat that and say, hey, I think they're going to figure some of it out.
I'm certainly not counting that game as a win for ECU right now, just based off one game. I'd have to see more. I have to see first how ECU is, because right now ECU has like one defensive lineman that's played snaps here. So,
and everybody's going to have issues. I guess
Yeah.
that was my whole point in Navy. And they didn't have anybody that was out, clearly, because they didn't practice during the preseason. But
yeah, what's up with that?
They didn't. They said
no
I didn't
tackling.
know that. Yeah, like
I didn't believe it, and I still don't know if I buy it. But I mean, based on the score. But why would you not tackle if you're playing a football game? Like what? Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
How is that? How is that being safe by not tackling?
It's weird too because we consider Ken Niumatalolo one of the top coaches, not just in the AAC but like in the country, right?
Yes,
and his team to be so unprepared was really strange.
No one explained why they weren't tackling. They were just like, we decided not to tackle. I guess because
he
of COVID.
said it was
But like, I mean, you're still out there.
Said it was for safety. Like the player safety is more important than that. But then you're gonna go play a game.
Yeah, and then go
not know how
tackle
to
a bunch
tackle.
of random players that you don't know.
It made me glad that ECU's had 2 scrimmages and have more planned, that they're at least going to be hitting each other.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
But then you look on the other side, Army, another service academy, just kicked the crap out of Middle Tennessee, and they look like they've been practicing 24/7. They were executing with precision. So,
and I saw it again today on the Bad Beats with Scott Van Pelt and Stanford Steve, the end of the first half with Middle Tennessee, where they let literally 25 seconds run off the clock with 2 timeouts.
There was 45 seconds left when they started the play, and I think they got sacked. And then, like, instead of
moved to about the 12-yard line, moving into the end
with 2
zone.
timeouts, instead of calling a timeout, they just the quarterback was looking to the sideline. Stockstill their head coach was looking kind of lost, and they just let it kept running, and then they ran another play, and the half was over.
They snapped the ball with about 6 seconds left.
It was just bizarre, man.
It was the worst time management I've ever seen. 2 timeouts.
And I was watching it live, and the announcers didn't even acknowledge it. They weren't like, "Oh, you need to take a timeout here." They were just like, "Man, Middle Tennessee is going to run this play." Oh, the half is over. It was just really weird. And then, of course, going back on it, looking back at it, they were like, they probably should have taken a timeout there, but that was bizarre.
There's going to be weird things to happen. Obviously, we've already seen it. But that's, the point. I think it's, I mean, the really good teams are going to still be really good because they're going to have depth, but I think there's going to be a lot of,
sloppy, ugly, weird.
I mean, it's like the baseball.
Yeah.
Like, baseball's been the same way, and I love it because it's MLB, but you run into some of this, like the baseball's not clean. Like every sport that's trying to play right now, people who really know what they're saying or following the sport say, it's not as good as it should be or whatever, but it's a product and it's what it is, All
right, more to go on Pirate Radio Live. We'll wrap up hour number 2, come back with hour number 3, more of Igoe, more of Woodward, and we'll open up the Pirate Radio Booty Bag coming up in hour number 3. We roll on Pirate Radio Live after this.
Hey guys, do you have those yellow overgrown toenails? Is your lady complaining that you have rough feet? If you're embarrassed to wear flip-flops or sandals, then the Man Cave is the spot for you. The Man Cave is Greenville's newest premier destination that provides professional manicures, pedicures, and hair services for men only. We even offer a special membership if you dare to join the Gentlemen's Club. What happens in the Man Cave stays in the Man Cave. So book your appointment today at mancaveandnails.com. Friends that groom together, stay together.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an auto owner's independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with auto owner's insurance.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
Buying a vehicle should be a fun experience and not one where you're bounced around from person to person. This is Mary from the Auto Store Group, and we offer an honest, no-pressure, hometown store approach to selling vehicles. The Auto Store Group has 3 locations and over 150 quality used vehicles to choose from. Shop our entire inventory at theautostoregroup.com. And remember, every purchase comes with a free bucket of fun. The Auto Store Group, pirate-owned and operated for over 38 years. Start shopping today for your next vehicle at theautostoregroup.com.
Do you think you might have been exposed to COVID-19? Maybe you're planning to visit parents, family, or friends. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers easy solutions to COVID-19 testing. Arc Point Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. Arc Point Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com. In studio with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you guys have a disinfecting service for homes and business.
We have a two-step process that includes disinfecting and also provides 30 days of protection to all surfaces treated. We're doing this for 10 cents a square foot in businesses and $10 a room in your home.
Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Call me directly at my cell, 252-999-0001. Again, 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Or fixednc.com.
Here today with Abu, also known as Brian Cavanaugh to his friends and family, YF3.
You know, I came here for the workout and quickly realized that it was far more about the physical. It's about the fellowship. It's about the opportunity to open up, to be vulnerable. And what that does is that increases the closeness, that increases the accountability, that increases that brotherhood.
One letter, one number, F3. Fitness, fellowship, and faith. All workouts are free of charge and open to all men. Leave no man behind, but leave no man where you find him. Learn more today at f3enc.com.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs of Greenville. Right now, for a special time, Sparky Snowballs is open every day from noon to 8 in the Food Truck Rodeo on the corner of Evans Street and Fire Tower Road. Stop by for a delicious icy treat. Plus, did you know Sparky's also has funnel cakes and fried Oreos too? Support Rodeo every day from noon to 8 on the corner of Evans Street and Fire Tower Road. Sparky Snowballs, serving delicious icy treats to smiling faces for over 20 years. Visit Sparky's on Facebook or SparkySnowballs.com.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by First National Bank. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. And when your AC needs repair or replacing, call on the reliable service professionals of Delcor Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Go to DelcorInc.com or call them at 252-321-8868. Delcor, the service professionals in Greenville, North Carolina. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
Alrighty, hour number 3 of Pirate Radio Live. Got Stephen Igoe, Ronnie Woodward joining me today on the program. Got the Pirate Radio Booty Bag coming up later on this hour too, as we will make you a winner of a shrimp taco, rice and beans to Chico's right up here in downtown Greenville. We got week 1, week 1 for us, week 2 of college football, AAC Survivor. We'll have to make our picks. Might dive into a little NFL and more with Stephen Igoe and Ronnie Woodward, and your thoughts as well. You can chime in on Facebook Live, Twitter, or give us a call, 317-1250. Hour number 3 of Pirate Radio Live is on the way. We'll be back after this.
If you're like many, you may have put on the Corona 5, 10, or even 15 over the last 2 months. Well, the weather is warm and it's time to get that body back on track. At Clean Eats, we have you covered. Our weekly meal plan will quickly help you get back to where you want to be. Order online at cleaneats.com. Our cafe is back open, sanitized, and waiting to serve you healthy lunch and dinner options for dine-in, takeout, curbside, or even delivered through our delivery partners. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory ever. Brand new Adidas is arriving daily, along with Under Armour, Columbia, and Russell Athletic. UBE is loaded with cargo, and new items are being added daily to PirateWear.com. Be sure to check out our children's store, The Crow's Nest, for all of your young pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com, an ECU tradition for 50 years. Go Pirates!
Introducing new Domino's Carside Delivery. Now when you carry out, you don't even need to leave your car, so you don't have to interrupt your favorite song.
It's time to drive down to the rock show.
Or interrupt your kid's favorite song.
We'll be friends just for one.
You can interrupt this, actually.
Try Domino's Carside Delivery when you carry out 3 topping pizzas for $7.99 each, and we'll carry out your order to your car contact-free. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes XL and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size. Message and data rates may apply when using Domino's Carside Delivery.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Hey, this is Chef Dave Finelli. Have you got $60 extra a week, or you just got $60 a week? I can feed you dinner 6 nights a week for total $60. Maybe you haven't heard about this, my Heart Healthy Home Meals. I give you 6 meals a week, you pick them up at Pops, it's $60 a week. I guarantee you go out to eat one time, you spend more than $60. I guarantee you, if you go to the grocery store one time, you spend more than $60. And then you still got to tip, and then you still got to cook and prep and worry. Forget all that. I got you. $60 a week. Let me know. I'm right there at Pops. You know how to reach me.
It's summertime, and it's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust in our team to improve your vehicle's off-road experience. Give us a call for more information, 252-364-8730. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork.
Your power's out. There's a water leak. What do? For these and other utility-related emergencies, you need service, and you want it fast. There are 2 things you can do to get the quickest response if you're a GUC customer. First, you can call the hotline at 1-855-767-2482 and report any utility-related emergency. That number is also on GUC.com. Or second, you can give GUC your phone number. The hotline process is quickest when their account records have your current phone number. Service you can count on. Greenville Utilities.
This is Coach Steve Shankweiler, offensive line coach for East Carolina University football. And you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by First National Bank. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. At Angel Oak, they continue to make customer service a number 1 priority. A local mortgage advisor is the key to your transaction success. The combination of their local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for every financial situation. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Shirley Rhodes. Chandler running the video production today, fresh off the golf course. Got it all in before the weather turned a little bad here in eastern North Carolina. Felt like fall a few days over the weekend. That was awesome.
Yep.
Felt like football. I was kind of... And Saturday with the, sparse amount of games didn't feel like a real college football Saturday for the most part. Maybe this week will feel a little different with more teams. You got the Big 12, ACC coming in with some games, but it is awkward for me to be at home on a college football Saturday and not have to come in here all day on the Bud Light pregame tailgate and U.S. Sailor fifth quarter call-in show. How about for you guys?
It was definitely different, and I watched as much football as I could. The problem was the games weren't very competitive. So, I watched the Marshall game. It was a blowout. I watched the Army game. Was fired up. They had some, some of their students spread out throughout the stands, which was pretty cool, and enjoyed the game. So they were blowouts. It's just it boggles my mind as we sit here on September 8th. Under a normal year, would be a week into the season. We'd be recapping the Marshall game and looking ahead to South Carolina.
Yeah,
and now here we are. ECU's 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks away from game day.
It was also strange being at a fantasy draft on Saturday, and we watched college football. We turned it over to the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
We had a little Braves going. We had NBA playoffs. Like, it was, if somebody woke up out of a coma and you just showed them the sports schedule, they'd have no clue what month it was.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Saturday was weird, yeah, for me. I went to the beach with some friends, and Sarah, my wife, actually mentioned that. We were hanging out on the beach, and she was like, when was the last time you, this is Labor Day weekend? And I was like, yeah.
Yep.
It's always the start of the college football season. I don't know when the last time I did anything on Labor Day weekend other than work, which is what, the 1% of people in America do is actually work during Labor Day weekend, and it's people in sports.
Yep.
College football in particular.
We can't take the day off after the first ECU games played, and so we're always here, and it was strange.
Yeah, so that was weird. And the Kentucky Derby situation, I'd forgotten about. You might have seen. I didn't realize it until Friday, late afternoon. I was like, oh, Kentucky Derby's tomorrow.
I saw the ratings for that were down 48% or something
sure.
insane.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah. Because that's a summer. Well, I guess that's May, so whatever it is, a first Saturday in May.
But there's nothing else going on.
Yeah, it's oh, that's cool. There's this horse race, which gives us reason to kind of hang out and watch this. And people aren't really hanging out, and there's other stuff. You don't want to watch a horse race in September because there's, football and other stuff going on.
Do you want to watch the Masters in November? Because
I bet it's the same thing.
That's going to be a weird deal, too.
I don't want to watch that in November. It's going to be cold. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let's do our AAC Survivor picks for this week. Boy, we got a full slate of games to choose from. We've got the Citadel taking on Jeff Scott and South Florida in his first game there. And we've got USA, who took it to Southern Miss last Thursday, and they will be taking on Tulane coming up Saturday night. How about that? Tulane, South Alabama, 7:30 ESPN2. Good time slot.
It's not a bad
for
game.
the Green Wave.
As far as competitiveness,
I'll be tuned in.
Yeah.
Would you rather watch that or Wake Forest Clemson? Clemson's going to be up 42 at halftime.
Yeah.
Tulane.
Yeah, we're going to watch Tulane.
Wake Forest is going to get annihilated.
My pick.
Checking out my Cornell Powell action.
So the rules are
this year.
Yeah, I asked that to Billy Weaver. Is this the year he finally gets in the stat sheet and makes some plays? We shall see.
He's got another year. If not,
everybody's got one more. Do we get one more year added to our lives because of this?
I don't know.
I'm hoping. All right, so we have to pick a team each week. Once you pick the team, you cannot pick them again, which is even more reason for me to take South Florida right here against the Citadel, Jeff Scott, and all you haters like Igoe and Ronnie. South Florida's going to win this game by 44 points.
Wow.
44?
Yeah.
The Citadel beat Georgia Tech last year. They run the triple option.
We all know that.
They went 6-6.
We know that.
But Mike Houston knows their head coach very well because I think he was the OC when Houston was there. So he's going to get some inside tips on the Bulls personnel.
Nice.
But I'm still going South Florida here. I think their talent's too much. I'm not going to go South Florida by 44.
So that is your pick, though?
Yeah, I'm going South Florida by 14.
Okay. We're not picking the game. You're picking your Survivor team.
Yeah, I'm going South Florida.
All right. Ronnie?
Tulane, I think, has a new quarterback, so I don't know.
Ronnie likes Tulane.
I don't like Tulane.
What?
You don't like either one. You're the one that wanted to do it this week.
Well, I know, but whatever, because it's fun. Why not?
All right.
I wish it's funny because ESPN has the games that were on this week. Like, I wish we had another game.
SMU and was it TCU SMU?
Yep,
that'd have been good.
Marshall, ECU, Florida International, UCF. I probably would have taken UCF this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't like Tulane. Honestly, I don't like South Florida a whole lot either. I picked them last in the AAC poll, my much scrutinized AAC poll. They were my last place team, not ECU.
So. You're not alone there.
Yeah, and ECU beat them by 1 point.
Nice.
So technically, anybody could have swayed that decision.
So are you passing this week?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm just stalling. I'll take South Florida. I don't love it, but I'll take South Florida.
So Tulane, by the way, is like an 8.5 point favorite against USA.
I gotta see it first from them.
Next week's AAC slate looks pretty good.
I have not looked ahead.
We got Houston, Memphis on Friday night.
Nice.
Tulsa, Oklahoma State, which I think that's been pushed back.
Postponed.
Yeah, this is the 26th, so disregard that. Navy, Tulane. So I guess Navy is going to play another game. Austin P.
And that game's on ABC, by the way.
It is.
Yeah. Austin P. Cincinnati. That's an easy pick. USF is at Notre Dame. I think the last time they played there, Skip Holtz won. UCF.
BJ Daniels, maybe?
Good call.
At Georgia Tech.
Who's the Georgia Tech?
UCF.
All right.
And SMU at North Texas.
It's a better slate.
Much better schedule.
Let's collectively hope South Florida wins.
Yeah.
Somehow, by whatever margin.
44.
And then we'll really kick it in next week.
You really?
And if they all lose, then we just keep going.
That's right. We're all back in.
True. So we're good.
So there's no stakes at all on this thing.
Other than that, we want to be right to do it the right way and to get South Florida out of the way, like you said.
Got a Mike Houston Zoom coming up at 6:15 today. So Ronnie, Igoe, and probably Glenn from Pirate Radio will be asking questions and getting answers
other
from the
random
coach.
people I've never seen before.
Wow. Okay, Igoe, you all right?
Saying. These people, like, more and more of them come out of the woodworks to join these Zooms, and I just don't know who they are.
Are they in the media guide? Under, what is it called?
They're not, which is even crazier. They're not even in the media guide under the Goldsboro News Argus. Our old boy, I can't think of his name. Rudy Goldberg.
Rudy Gobert. John Moody.
Goldberg.
No, it's Rudy Huxtable. What is it? Rudy.
Rudy Goldberg, I thought was his name.
No.
It's a wrestler.
Is that it? The Goldberg's a wrestler, but I don't think his name is Rudy.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Whatever.
John Moody says...
Rudy Coggins.
Rudy Coggins! Well done.
Oh, man.
Just almost as good as Rudy Goldberg.
All right.
Get
For the 8th time, John Moody says, next year we will have the same type of schedule with a free Labor Day weekend after ECU takes on App State Thursday night in Charlotte.
Ooh.
Now, I'll still have to work on
but
Monday.
But and there's still like some overflow from a Thursday night.
Yeah, John, shut up.
He's kind of right, but it's still tough to have like a full Labor Day weekend if you have stuff on the front end and the back end.
Josh says Doggy Jams move to the possible Purple Gold game weekend next year. I guess Doggy Jams Subdogs has a new date.
Hopefully we can.
Is Shaq coming?
Get back to normalcy then.
So it was pushed back to the fall. Is he talking about baseball Purple Gold game?
The football.
So it moved back to spring?
Yeah, it said April 17th.
Oh, okay.
And I know that because my birthday is April 16th, and it always ends up the weekend of the Purple Gold game.
Okay.
Because I'm always like, I'm going to do something fun for my birthday. And it's like, nope, there's always the spring.
Spring game's a lot of fun.
I know, like, not that. Like, go do something.
I'm going to tell Mike Houston you said that.
Not that. Like,
when your Andre Allison did a flip, we still talk about it.
Like, go out of town
that was the last fun thing that happened during the spring game. 2005.
The spring game, looking back on it, like, is... And I would love to see a spring game this year.
Yeah. Take anything.
But, I mean, you just don't remember anything because it's so irrelevant at the end of the day. Same thing with the preseason scrimmages. Like, we make a big deal about them when they happen. But as soon as the season starts and the first game is underway, like, nobody even remembers the defense won the first scrimmage.
Yeah, but I do love spring darlings, Igoe.
I do too. I mean, you love Terrell Green.
Terrell Green.
6 years straight.
My guys.
And DeAndre Ferrier.
I could go way back. Edwin Burke, the running back.
I don't even remember that.
Remember him? Exactly.
I remember Edwin Rios.
I remember Corey Hunter,
Rios.
running back.
Oh, yeah.
Hunter Furr.
Hunter Furr was never a darling because he couldn't run laterally. He was fast. He was like a track dude.
Brad Warnick.
Yeah, he definitely was.
Brad Warnick was a gamer, too.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He turned into a couple of starts, and I
had a soft spot for him for some reason. I was a Brad Warnick truther. I thought ECU was in great hands if Dom Davis went down.
There was that one series he came in at UAB, I think, and got a first down.
Yeah. That's all you need from your backup quarterback.
I think the preseason scrimmages, obviously, as we talked about, are really valuable for the team, though.
Definitely.
They're not great for us, and we can't go see them, whatever.
Especially after last night when you see a team that doesn't tackle.
Yeah, exactly.
ECU's going to have basically 3.5 preseason scrimmages.
Yeah.
So they've had 2. They're going to have one win this week?
This weekend.
What's the half?
Last Saturday.
Yeah, he said they did
okay.
We're planning on something, but it wasn't full all.
It was situational stuff.
I think he said it was at the field. Or they were going to have referees, or it was a little more than normal practice, but not a full-scale scrimmage.
So this weekend, while teams are playing week 2 of the college football season, ECU will have a scrimmage. What about next weekend, Igoe, which would be a week before the opening?
I bet they take that off. Yeah.
It'll probably be more like a walkthrough.
Yeah.
They'll go in the stadium, probably like a game mock walkthrough. They'll just go out there and run through their game plan. It's usually what they do the week before.
Do you think they'll do a full 2 weeks prep for UCF?
Yeah. Mike Houston's been making that kind of comment the whole time. Was Marshall for the longest time. When they get to 2 weeks out.
Once we get to that window, it's all Marshall.
So that window, which is scary for this week, but we're getting to the window for Saturday.
As soon as we hit as soon as we hit Saturday, I'm going to be checking my phone relentlessly because we'll be in that 2 week window.
Yep.
And hopefully no bad news.
I swear, every day I kind of look with one eye on Twitter at Brett McMurphy's Twitter page to see what has changed.
In my email.
What got pushed back.
Every time it pops up, ECU football update or advisory, I'm hope this is a practice Zoom, or is this something else? Or
Yeah, so it's
scary.
It is, but that's where we are here in this 2020. You were talking about spring ball and everything. I think I'm hoping that we could get some easing up on the restrictions, and it would be cool to have a Purple Gold World Series or even a scrimmage with another team if the NCAA would allow it this fall. Since we missed out on that baseball stuff.
Yeah,
that would be. I mean, in October or something, go out there.
I would love to see Gavin Williams just go throw a game. I mean, whether it's inter squad or
I think that would get fans out too.
Yeah, I mean, I would die to see that, and I think it'd be cool.
Wow.
I mean,
thank you for sacrificing yourself. So
I appreciate that.
So Ronnie and I could watch it. You'd be dead, but
figuratively, not literally.
Okay. All right. Well,
I would really like to see that. How about that? Is that better?
Yes, it is. Did you watch games with fans? And of course, you watched last night without fans. What was the difference?
I noticed a big difference. Even the Army game, I don't know if they had the mics jacked up, but the crowd was getting into it, man. 5,000 people, I feel can make a good amount of noise, even if they're spread out. Whereas when it's just dead silence from the fans, all you do is hear the guys on the sideline. And Ronnie and I were talking about this. Why don't they pipe in some sort of crowd noise?
I know the NFL is apparently going to do that. Shirley, what was your Mile High note that later this month they're going to allow 7% capacity?
7.5%. So that equals to about 5,700 fans.
So does that mean no fans this week?
Yeah, the first 2 home games, or the first week, they don't have any fans.
So for their second home game, they will allow a few. Well, you know what? I'll try not to be a beggar.
What's the point?
I know.
5,700 people in a 76,000 seat stadium. I mean,
no, but I'd rather have some than none. That is a low number.
But why not go to 15,000? To me, that's just as manageable in a 76,000 seat stadium.
Chiefs are having 17, right?
Yeah,
on Thursday. That's what I read.
I think as long as you stay in the 20% capacity range, you can easily manage that. I mean, we saw it at Southern Miss. You saw it in Memphis. Some of those schools that had attendance, like people were spaced out, and there was no real.
Yeah,
they weren't like
there were no cheering sections. It was like just everybody with their people they came with.
Something. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I haven't seen. I guess Navy didn't even have the band last night, so I guess if you have 0 fans allowed, like ECU can't have the band.
I don't know.
I think that's clarified.
Yeah, I think there's a league protocol on that. I don't know what exactly.
Well, I know they can't be on the field, but I don't know.
Yeah,
they could be on the stands.
Good question.
In the stands.
I was gonna say last night, at least from a viewing standpoint, I enjoyed there not being the fake noise because you could, especially when Navy had the ball and they'd yell like pass and like you could hear the players like yelling and like calling audibles and stuff. That was weird, but I enjoyed that rather than like fake noise.
Well, there's no
like video game noise. Like, I enjoyed the players and like coaches yelling, on the field. I guess
we keep going back to it. There's no commissioner. There's no one person making rules on anything. And in the NFL, they're gonna have regulations on how loud your crowd can be and what exactly you can play. In college football, I mean, hell, somebody should just do it, and we should do it at Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium for the first game.
Why not?
What would happen? Is it outlawed? I don't know. I haven't heard where it's not allowed. So, but there's nobody making rules. Speaking of which, there's no rule on how much information you have to divulge when it comes to COVID and your football team. And Lincoln Riley, I guess, said today that he would not be putting that information out publicly. Which one of his players tested positive, who's in the contact tracing, quarantine, all that stuff. So, and Ronnie, you've been around. I mean, you have too, Igoe, but we used to have injury reports for ECU. That went away, 3-4 years ago, maybe?
Say like questionable, hip.
Yeah.
It was
like they do in the NFL.
Yeah.
So under Ruff, it was they would go to questionable, probable, out, and then under Scotty, they went to
like out for the year.
They just went for out.
Yeah.
Only out was listed. Now we get nothing.
And nothing at all. So that has dwindled away. So now this COVID thing is going to be in the same ballpark as that, where you'll just find out who's not dressed when the ball kicks off.
Yeah.
Or if we're at the game, you can
look at the sidelines,
find out about an hour and a half if you know the personnel.
Well, that's what I said. Like, if I was a coach and you're going like the Lincoln Riley route and you really want to do it for competitive sake, then all the players who are out, injury or not, you need to keep away from the field. Like, don't have them on the sideline.
What you're saying is if somebody has tested positive, you're not going to have them in the middle of your sidelines around
which you probably wouldn't want anyway. I would think, like, medically. Like, all right, man, like, go wave your towel and go talk to the players.
Yeah.
I would think they wouldn't want them there anyway. So whether they have a hurt ankle or they're out with COVID, just keep them away from the sideline.
I think you should do it like soccer has done it. I've seen internationally, and also Major League Baseball, where they have guys in the stands that aren't playing that day.
In each section?
Put your injured guys in Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium around the game cheering. Wouldn't that be cool?
Just imagine Darius Penix up in the upper deck.
Let's go! Come on, defense!
I don't think it's that big a deal. I don't know. I could be in the minority. But
about what? Oh, the Lincoln Riley stuff?
It's just like we don't.
It's only reports. To me, it's just the same thing. Like it's just an extension of the injury.
It is.
Yeah.
It's only a problem if you have a coach that is playing guys that tested positive because they're his best players.
Yeah.
But we're giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. They're going to be honest and moral about this whole thing. So.
Yeah. I mean, if they're out,
what's ECU's policy on this going to be, Igoe?
I mean, they're not going to give injuries, or we're
not going to know who has a sprained ankle.
Well, I think it's more
until the first game. Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah, I don't think we're. I mean, to me, I don't even think schools are allowed to say who has COVID. I guess it's just more of they're not allowed to say we have 10 players out with COVID this week.
But I'm saying, okay, but like
I don't think ECU is going to do that once the season gets going.
Philip Henry, I don't want to use a current player saying he's injured. I feel like that could be bad mojo. And hopefully Philip doesn't get injured, like walking down his driveway now. But Henry is not on the field week 1.
We're going to ask about it, and coach is going to be like, he's out due to a medical reason.
Well, and you guys,
and that could be anything. Yeah.
I remember I talked to you before this practice, and I would think this would almost become common practice. And I've even seen it from other teams that are playing. The week of the game, we're going to ask, just like I did when they came back from their pause, hey, Coach, I know you can't say names, but how many guys are out?
And he gave you the 23
that's
number,
what he
right?
said. 23 are out in quarantine, 10 are in the return to play. So, like, when it gets to game week, it's, hey, Coach, I know you can't name names and break it down. Totally. But how many players are you not expecting to play this week?
And it's a matter of if he wants to be honest or not.
Yeah. And if he wants to say, like, well, we don't know yet, cool. Yeah. Then we ask the next time. And if we don't know until Saturday, we don't know until Saturday. Or at some point he says, well, we're expecting 8 guys to be out. We're not going to know who the 8 are because, like Steven said, legally I don't think they can say that. But we can figure it out when the game starts.
Weaver was talking earlier about, I guess Mac Brown was talking about their testing policies, and they would find out results like Saturday morning before a game. Is that right? I mean, and what's the policies for the AAC in season?
The 2 tests, right? Or is it 3?
It's 2 for now, definitely, but I think it's I think it's 2 for sure, and then if you have the capacity to test 3 times, they recommend you test 3 times on game week.
So at least 2?
Yeah, at least 2. And UNC...
That's a Thursday, I think?
Yeah, I think it will probably be a Monday and Thursday. And then UNC, it sounds like they're testing 3 times, and then I think they test Friday morning, and they put all their players in a hotel room. That's when they test, or that's when they make the call whether they can play or not.
Interesting. I mean, that's going to be some like last minute. So if you test Thursday, like ECU's finals test is Thursday, when do those results come back? Is that Friday or
Friday?
Early Friday.
Yeah.
And then you got to keep players, whatever, away from each other, away from people, in a bubble,
But like
take them to walkthroughs and send them straight to the hotel is what I would do.
Like we said earlier with the Bob Bowlesby deal, we're trying to think of ways we can do this and play instead of a million reasons we can't. So
there you go.
New guidelines, new world order.
NWO.
we're trying to make it work. All right. Anything else, Igoe? Mariners.
Winners
looking better than Ronnie's Nats right now.
6 in a row. 2 games out of the playoffs.
Crazy.
I mean, I don't think they're going to make it, but at least it gives me something to watch.
And they're behind who they're chasing? The Yankees
and Astros.
The Yankees, who lost 3 in a row to the Orioles.
Yeah.
Who all of a sudden can't win games.
I can get down with the Orioles.
It's a fun story, right?
Yeah, like that's cool. And the Mariners and the Marlins. Like
anybody different, new, whatever, is fun.
Is Mackenzie Gore going to pitch this year?
I don't know. The Padres are good, right?
Yeah,
they're probably saving them for the.
What if they brought them up for the playoffs?
I mean, they could. Yeah.
They needed an extra arm.
Yeah. For this guy.
They went out and got Clevenger, right?
Yeah, they added some arms, so I kind of doubt it, but they maybe could have if they didn't make those moves.
Kind of exciting for him, though, because they are the fun team now with Tatis and everything, and Gore is the best prospect. He was the number 1 pitcher last year, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to be joining a really good, fun team that's going to get a lot of national recognition. So
he'll play next year.
A lot of Gore coming up in Major League Baseball. All right, let's take a timeout. Igoe, Ronnie, thanks for hanging out, guys.
Thanks for having us.
We'll see you later this week, Igoe. Ronnie, we'll talk to you next Monday here on Pirate Radio Live. We'll take a timeout, come back, and have more for you when we return after Shirley says something.
I was going to say, shouldn't we go ahead and do the booty bag now?
Yes.
Well, that's what I was waiting for.
Okay.
Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Booty, 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 booty everywhere.
317-1250. Caller 12 wins a shrimp taco, rice and beans, 2 Chicos here in downtown Greenville. Grab your amigos, head to Chico's, and we'll give you some free Chicos if you are caller 12. 317-1250. More to go on Pirate Radio Live after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Cadillac. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, save over $15,000 off on all new 2020 Cadillac Escalades. Remember, Brown & Wood is the home for the lifetime powertrain warranty for all makes and models.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Dad, what's for dinner?
How about CPW's?
Is that the restaurant with the really good lasagna?
It sure is.
Is that the place we got the awesome meat pizza?
Yep, that's the place. Should we do dine-in or take out?
I'm tired of eating it. Let's go there!
Just say no to cooking tonight and bring the family, or make it a date night at CPW's. CPW's is open daily at 3 p.m. and has been serving the Greenville community since 1995. CPW's in the Food Line Shopping Center near the hospital.
Register for Army ROTC to be a leader and an officer in the U.S. Army, Army Reserve, or Army National Guard. You could also be eligible for a full tuition scholarship. Lead the team that makes a difference. To learn more, contact Dale Anderson at 252-622-5346 or Anderson, DAL, at ecu.edu. Paid for by the United States Army.
When you can take your eye off a big pizza pie, that's familiar.
How does a hot pizza and a 6-pack of beer sound right about now? How about if it was only $20? Take advantage of the Familia Saturday and Sunday special of a large one-topping pizza and a 6-pack of Pitt Street beer for only $20. Call 689-6330 and then pick it up at the drive-thru window. Need a job? Good news. Familia is now hiring servers, bartenders, and hostesses. Familia, Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College and FamiliaNC.com.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost art without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
Bostic Sugg Furniture wants to know, how'd you sleep last night? If you're like thousands, the answer is probably not very well. You're tired, stressed, your job suffers, and worse, your health suffers. Get better sleep on a Restonic mattress, a Consumer's Digest Award winner 13 years running. Restonic Queen mattresses start as low as $4.99. Restonic two-sided Queen mattresses from only $6.99. If you're ready to wake up to a whole new you, we have a Restonic mattress waiting for you, exclusively at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
This is Stephen Igoe, publisher of HoistTheColors.net. Recruiting is the lifeblood of any college sports program, and no one devotes more coverage to the future of ECU athletics than Hoist the Colors. Want to know who's going to be the next Holton Ahlers or Jaden Gardner? We've got Pirates' most talented recruits and top targets 24/7. Sign up now and get your first month of coverage for a single $1. HoistTheColors.net, the most reliable reporting on ECU athletics.
This is ECU assistant football coach Roy Tesh, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by First National Bank. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Taking a look at your stock market report for today, the Dow was down 632 points and finished at 27,500. The NASDAQ was down as well, down 465 at 10.7, and the S&P was behind 95 points at 3,331. That's your Wells Fargo Advisors financial report. For a personal look into investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC. And as we head back into Pirate Radio Live, congratulations to Jackie Hutcherson of Winterville, who walked away with the Chico's gift certificate. And back to you, Clip.
Jack Hay, congratulations on the victory there. All right, we'll open up the booty bag a few more times this week. It is already Tuesday. Tuesday's gone, as Leonard Skinner once said. Hard to believe that we are just over 48 hours away from the NFL season kicking off. And I'm watching videos of Pat Mahomes throw to Tyreek Hill in an empty Arrowhead Stadium, and it's really strange. It has taken me a while to get in that football mood. I had 2 live fantasy drafts this weekend, which really helped out. When you see that big board and player stickers, and it starts to feel a little bit real. It took a while for Chandler to get back involved in watching and getting excited about any sports. So where are you right now, Chandler, on a 1 to 10 scale as far as excitement for Panthers football, which, believe it or not, kicks off this Sunday?
I'm pretty excited. I'm getting back into the sports, groove, and watching this awesome NBA playoffs, and but now I'm kind of ready for a different sport, and that sport is football and college football. And so
yeah, I'm at like a 6 though, like where normally I'd be at a 10.
I would say a 7
or 11 right now. Like I'd be really, really jacked up for it, but it's going to be weird. No fans at FedEx Field for Washington and Philly. No fans at Bank of America for Raiders Panthers. So just it's going to be a weird deal. We're going to have to be like the BYU sidelines, Chandler, and pump ourselves up.
Yeah, you talked about the weather a while ago, and on Saturday morning I got up and walked outside, and it was so cool, and it was like the little breeze, and it reminded me of that Saturday morning where you get up and you go outside, you sit on your porch and have a cup of coffee, and then you might go back inside and you watch College Game Day, and it was just so weird, knowing that there was not going to be any ECU football that day. And then just a few slate of games, but I mean, I'm just ready to get back into the full thing. I don't know. I can't get as excited knowing it's not going to be the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm wondering too. Like Sunday is definitely going to be weird.
Yeah.
For years and years, we had a Sunday tradition. Me and some friends to go watch Week 1 at Professor O'Cool's, which is not standing right now. Which is not a thing. That freaks me out. Watching games with no fans is going to be weird. I'm wondering if that first Bud Light pregame tailgate, maybe that, and again, it's still not going to be the same, but maybe that will get me 100% all in to the 10 on the scale for football season. Getting ready for ECU and UCF on the 26th.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready for ECU and Panthers to be on the same weekend, and I'm sure you're the same way with the Washington football team, but I'm excited to see how the broadcast goes for Sunday, but I'm also kind of nervous that I won't like it and that I don't want to, I don't even want to tune in and maybe just watching and just keep up with the game on my phone.
What if there's a world where you don't like watching Panthers football and you're living in it right now?
I don't know. It's just going to be so weird because I'm still not a big fan of the no fans thing, and
I know
I'm still a big, and gradually we can get back into having fans, percentage by percentage.
I hope so.
But we'll see, and I'm really excited for this weekend, Panther football.
Yeah, a full weekend of football. In fact, Shirley, we've got NFL football back on Pirate Radio. Westwood One coverage of NFL on Pirate Radio beginning on Thursday night with the Texans Chiefs. Looking forward to that.
Looking forward to it as well. As far as the rest of the schedule, I don't have that just yet. I'm still waiting for some of the paperwork to come through, but we will have the kickoff on Thursday night. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm also keeping a close eye. Of course, we tweeted this out earlier this afternoon on our Pirate Radio Twitter page, but there is a potential for a reunion of 2 of ECU's most prolific wide receivers. Yeah. Justin Hardy flew out to Las Vegas to do a workout with the Raiders. Of course, Zay Jones on the team. And so we're going to keep a close eye on that because that's going to make things very interesting because they've got a couple of speedsters. And John Gruden has been very impressed with Zay Jones's progress from last season heading into this season. So if Justin gets signed on, I think that Raiders team might make some noise this year.
They got the Ruggs kid that ran the 4.2 whatever at the combine out of Alabama. They have another young receiver, I think, Brian Edwards. So those were listed as your 2 starters. Zay has been raved about during camp. So a lot of snaps coming up against the Panthers on Sunday of all teams. What if they could sign Justin and go ahead and get Zay and Justin played in their home state on Sunday. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be very, very cool. And keep an eye out for Dwayne Harris, because he's still a valuable commodity, because he has been able to have a little bit of longevity in the NFL, still can be beneficial to a team as a return specialist. So we're just kind of keeping an eye on, and with the NFL, things can change. Right now, they have done a very good job as far as their testing goes. They haven't had hardly any, if any, positive cases. So, we'll see what happens. But Dwayne is still kind of floating out there as well. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that. And if any information comes up between either one of them, we'll make sure we pass that along.
And I haven't even really thought about this. I'm trying to remain positive and optimistic. But, Major League Baseball started and played a weekend, I guess it was. Yeah, played a weekend, and then boom, the Marlins had their deal.
Yeah.
And, they had to take some games off. And, you just hope that a situation like that doesn't arise with the NFL, which begins on Thursday, and then a full slate Sunday, 2 Monday night games.
Mm-hmm.
Surely some NFL news over the weekend. You don't want to go face Bill Belichick with a rookie quarterback. So the Dolphins are going to pull out a little Fitz magic for week 1. Ryan Fitzpatrick named the starter. We're going to have to wait a little while before we can see Tua.
Look, well, if you compare Ryan Fitzpatrick to some of the other quarterbacks that we've had over the years, okay, he's not that bad. However, if you've got a guy as dynamic as Tua is, sooner or later, you're going to have to play the guy. You might as well do it in week 1. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the Dolphins don't have anything to lose at this point. Now,
they think they can go win the game, I think. And they're going to go with Fitzpatrick.
I don't know. There's so many unknowns with the Dolphins right now. With their coaching choices to some of their wide receiver choices. I mean, Fitzpatrick can throw the ball. I mean, he's proven that, but I just don't know. There's just too many variables here that can, and you're going up against a guy like Belichick. I'm thinking you might as well just throw the kid into the fire and just get him. I mean, because how else are you going to get that kid to learn? I mean, so what are you going to do?
He'll get his time.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's going to get his time, but are you going to sit there and just say, oh, well, we want to save you for week 2 because we think you got a better shot at it week 2 as opposed to week 1? Just throw the kid in the fire and let him go.
What if he's...
That's the whole reason you drafted him, is because you needed a quarterback.
Flores is playing little Belichick head games. Fitzpatrick goes out for the first snap, and then Tua runs in, takes over the rest of the way.
I'll take that if that's what they do. But if they play Fitzpatrick the whole game, I'm going to be irate about that.
You're just irate about everything when it comes to the Dolphins.
Yes.
It's going to be strange, that game, seeing Cam Newton in a Patriots jersey. You're going to have Teddy Bridgewater rocking the Panthers jersey. How about Phillip Rivers and Gardner Minshew? Phillip Rivers in the Colts jersey is going to look really weird.
Crazy.
That's going to be weird. Let's see. You've got Tyrod Taylor wearing the Chargers jersey. Joe Burrow. Taylor versus Burrow there in the Bengals. And, of course, the weirdest of them all, 425 on Fox, as Tom Brady dons the Bucs orange for the first time in the Superdome versus the Saints.
Now, that is going to be one heck of a game. You've got 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks going at each other in the Superdome. Can you imagine what that scene would be like if that was? That's the thing that stinks the most, because the Superdome, I've been in it. I know how loud it can get, and it's just disappointing that you've got this premier marquee game and there's nobody going to be able to sit there and see it in person. They're going to have to watch it on TV.
All right, let's take another timeout, our final timeout, Shirley, as we will wrap up this Tuesday edition of Pirate Radio Live. We'll be back with more after this.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water-soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is former ECU tight end Bryce Williams from my friends at the Auto Store Group. If you're in the market for a quality used vehicle, then the Auto Store Group is for you. The Auto Store Group has 3 locations and over 150 quality used vehicles to choose from for all budgets. Shop their entire inventory today at theautostoregroup.com. And remember, every purchase comes with a free bucket of fun. The Auto Store Group, your hometown store, Pirate owned and operated for over 38 years. Go Pirates!
Know what I like most about my new phone from US Cellular?
I don't know.
That it was $700 off.
What? Switch to US Cellular and get $700 off the latest phones. US Cellular. Choose fair.
Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line port-in credit approval qualified smartphone purchase and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month retail installment contract. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash and Haviland Express Lube on Glen Burnie Road in New Bern is now open. Pirates Cove is now offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. These Fast Passes are good in New Bern and at all 3 Greenville locations. Visit us in Greenville on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and on East 10th Street. And now in New Bern on Glen Burnie Road.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECU Athletics.
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
When you don't have time to go to lunch, let Jimmy John's deliver lunch to you. With Jimmy John's, we can get a freaky fresh sandwich to you freaky fast. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com. Dinner's great. It's one of your top 3 favorite meals. You just don't want to have to make it. Well, with Jimmy John's, you don't have to. Whether you live in a sandwich delivery zone or head into the store, you can always get a freaky fresh sandwich. Click to order at jimmyjohns.com.
At US Cellular, we speak fair. When we say you don't have to pay activation fees, we mean it. Plus, right now when you switch, you also get $700 toward the latest phones. Yep, we mean that too. Upgrade to fair with US Cellular. Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line port in credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month RIC. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit atlanticwireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
This is former ECU baseball player and mayor of Greenville, PJ Connolly, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by First National Bank. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. and is the best place to watch your favorite sports while enjoying the best wings in town. They also have sandwiches, appetizers, cold beer, and more. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, might be a good spot for Sunday to watch all the NFL games at once. Not a bad idea for Tiebreakers in Greenville. Sean on Facebook Live said, I told y'all Navy was going to lay an egg. A lot of teams are going to lay an eggs this year due to the lack of physical practices. Well, Sean, I don't know who you told. If you told me, I was not paying attention. But if you know of any more teams that are going to lay eggs, please let me know before they kick off. That is valuable information to have this year. So, Sean, please let me know. Who else is going to lay an egg? And I will gladly take the other side. Also, Sean asked, when is ECU going to play a game? Well,
September 26th.
That is what the schedule says. We have been pushed back twice with the Marshall game, but September 26th, as of now, is a go. When ECU will welcome in UCF to town, and we're still waiting on see what the Knights have, as they will not play this weekend. They will play on the 19th against Georgia Tech in their season opener, so they'll have one game under their belt when they come to take on the Pirates on the 26th. This week, you've got two AAC teams in action, and you've got the ACC and the Big 12 cranking up, and North Carolina will be at home coming up at noon against Syracuse on Saturday. You've got App State hosting Charlotte Saturday at noon as well. West Virginia in action against Eastern Kentucky. Skip's Louisiana Tech team will be at Baylor. They'll take on the Bears in Waco. Duke is at Notre Dame, NBC 2:30. Georgia Tech, Florida State is the 3:30 ABC game. The night game on ABC is Clemson, Wake Forest at 7:30. Tulane gets a nice ESPN2 night game time slot against South Alabama at 7:30. And then it's still weird to see Kansas will be kicking off against Coastal Carolina at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1. So you do have quite a few college football games this week. Still not going to feel normal, obviously, but ACC, Big 12 beginning action, the AAC in action as well coming up this weekend. Of course, we are still looking forward. We were talking about this in the meeting this morning, Shirley. I'm ready to see that game time, the kickoff time for ECU and UCF. Hopefully that'll be out next week.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, any other time any other season, we would have already been in the throes of football season. That obviously with things that have gone on, this is the latest start we've ever had. Obviously with our game day coverage, but it's just I'm kind of looking forward to the week of. Because that's when we're gonna basically say, okay, now we're in it.
We haven't got there yet.
No,
we've had two games pushed back, but we never got to that game week.
No, so I'm kind of looking forward to that and getting to the point where, okay, now we got to start breaking down what are we going to do for hour one, what are we going to do for hour two, kind of break down what we're doing, how we're going to do it, how we're going to piece everything together, and and then of course. I got to work on the open. I haven't even touched that yet because I just don't know.
It still seems so far away.
Yeah, it feels like 100 miles away right now.
Well, you put together our Austin Peay Central Arkansas Open in 20 minutes. So I feel like you could put together the ECU Open in a few days.
Well, yeah, I could. I prefer to have a little more time, but yeah, my back was kind of up against the wall there because we kind of at the last minute decided, hey, let's just put this whole thing together like we're going to do a real. Game day. So usually what I like to do is I think about the open is maybe a minute to 2 minutes long, but I put a lot of thought into it, and sometimes it's months, sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's days, but depending on what I'm trying to think of, and I try to map it out, but I haven't really even given it much thought because I'm just like, just get me to game week and then everything else will take care of itself.
Well, the Open's important. It sets the tone for a big season. It sets the tone for a big show.
Yep.
It's like a locker room speech, Shirley. So you got to have us fired up and ready to go.
I got to, and there's a lot of pressure on me. I've been doing this, this will be our 18th season, so I got to step up my game. So every year it's like, I haven't really done the traditional, and you've been a part of this for so long that you know what I'm talking about, the traditional, I'm going to stress out, pull my hair out, and run out the back door screaming because I'm so stressed out from just trying to get everything put together and make sure everything's right. I'm not there yet. So once I get there, though, that's when football season really starts.
I like that stressed out because there's too much to do. I'm tired of the stressed out because there's like not enough to do.
Yeah.
Like we need games and we need them to come, and one will come on the 26th of September. Josh says makes no sense that other stadiums can have fans but we can't.
It's because that's a state mandate. There's nothing we can do about that.
I know.
I did do some research. You guys were talking about the marching band for ECU and whether or not they could be in the stands. I'm not sure if they could be in the stands. I know that it's a league-wide protocol that they are not to be on the field, so there's no pregame, there's no halftime, and that kind of stuff. I am assuming since there's not going to be any fans in the stands, the band won't be either. So that would be my assumption.
Which, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense either. I think you could spread them out and have a band.
Well, I mean, you could fit 50,000.
At this point, I am a little frustrated when I see these empty stadiums, especially when there are other stadiums that aren't empty.
Yeah.
But piece by piece, slowly but surely.
Hopefully, it'll be just week one.
Yeah.
And then after that, maybe we can start filtering in some fans and go from there.
We're hoping. We are certainly open. Thanks for tuning in today and checking us out on Pirate Radio Live. Coming up Wednesday on the show, Big Bryce Williams will be here in the Pirate Radio studios. Looking forward to catching up with him. Also, Wager McGee, he's going to have a lot of picks for week 2 of college football, week 1 of the NFL. We'll visit with the voice, Jeff Charles. Talk to Brian North as well. A lot coming up on Wednesday's edition of Pirate Radio Live. For Shirley Rhodes, Chandler Honeycutt, I am Clip Brock. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive presentation of the voice of the Pirate Nation.